Springfield, Massachusetts. It is the birthplace of basketball, but this afternoon, it's the location of the Eastern Football Conference Championship game. American International College, the Central Division champions with a record of 9-2, face CW Post. The Atlantic Division champions, they come in at 9-1. Standings in the Atlantic Division, CW Post taking it by 1 game over Southern Connecticut. AIC won it actually fairly easily in the Central Division over Pace. AIC at 8-1 in conference play, and Pace at 5-3. We have a spectacular afternoon. It's 65 degrees here in Springfield, just a very light breeze, and mostly cloudy. I'm Tom Larson, and with me, once again, is Mike Ruth, the 1985 Outland Trophy winner. CW Post opened the season against AIC, and they were pounded in that game, 34-0, Mike. They have since, however, won 9 consecutive games, and this is their chance to even the score.
They have, and they've done it on the backs of the defense. They have 7 all-conference defensive players, Tom, and they've got a nice 1-2 punch in the running game. That's changed their whole year.
Now, we're going to be looking at one of the finest running backs ever at the Division II level, AIC's Kevin Galliard. If he has just an average day, when this game is over, he'll walk off the field with 200-plus yards and 3 touchdowns.
You don't get games like this. When you hear Galliard, and he's mentioned with Walter Payton as the all-time rushing leader in the history of college football, this is a great game. They're going to not only run him at running back, they're going to put him at flanker, they're going to put him at slot, they're going to get him in the passing game. This is a game to sit down, have a sandwich, and have some fun.
Defensively, this is an AIC team that is focused on turnovers, a team that thrives on taking the ball away from their opponents. They are plus 32 for their 11 games this season. They lead the conference, the Eastern Football Conference. They also lead the country. And when they played Post, that game back in early September, AIC had 4 picks against Post.
The only statistic that matters outside the score. We talk about that all the time. And we're always quite good at it. How we win with turnovers. And every single fella, if you ask the lowliest freshman out there, and you ask him what the most important statistic is, he'll say, there's only one. Turnovers.
Is the story. You know, you're leading Division II around the country. A lot of it's Bob Parker. 8 interceptions, 3 against Bentley in 1 game. And when they need to turn that ball over, when they need the big play, they go to Bob Parker, and he gets the job done. This is a guy that's their best cover guy. He's their most speedy defensive back and a very dangerous man.
When these two teams played back earlier in the season, it was the 2nd game of the year for AIC. For Post, it was their opening game of the season. Since then, there has been a quarterback change. Lenny Lupo was the starting quarterback in the first 2 games, but they have gone now to Pat Rock and seem to have settled with him.
Yes, and you know, Pat Rock didn't have the pressure going in, and it's helped him. The guy does not make mistakes. 12 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, a couple from great coverage. This is a guy you can count on, and they really like him, and it allows the running game to work without big errors.
Even though AIC won that game fairly handily, a chap that they will definitely remember from that earlier meeting is defensive end Charlie Cook for the CW Post Pioneers. Only a sophomore. He is a 260-pounder, and you love him.
I love Charlie Cook. He is Henry Thomas of the Patriots, 6 foot, big fat belly, high energy guy, gets through the line of scrimmage, creates lots of problems. 3 sacks last week, 10 sacks on the season. He is the guy they're going to need to use to disrupt this running game.
This is the 5th appearance for AIC on the ECAC College Football Game of the Week in the last 3 years. It's their 3rd consecutive appearance in the EFC Conference Championship game so far. They are winless on Nesson at 0-4. It's AIC, CW Post, the Yellow Jackets, and the Pioneers next on your New England Sports Network.
For some time now, our goal of the Great Society has been within reach. But alas, there is a threat in our midst. These shoes are corrupting our society. The DMX moving air system reacts to the wearer's stride, encouraging individuality. Stores all over the country are actually selling the DMX shoes as I speak. Reebok represents a threat to our glorious conformity. They must be stopped.
You're a business traveler. You're on the... Oops, that's for later. You're on the road a lot. Your needs are relatively simple. Even I'd use that. You'd like a warm, comfortable bed. A separate office area with a desk. 2 phone lines. I'd like a phone there. A mini kitchen with wet bar, refrigerator, and coffee maker. You're getting the picture. And you'd like a free, bountiful breakfast buffet to keep you going all day. You don't expect much. You just expect AmeriSuites hotels. They take care of you, so you can take care of business.
Yeah, so our Ranger has a 4-door extended cab and a huge trunk with a locking top.
It's a great pickup.
We need a great promotion.
What about rent a Ranger for the day, be a Ranger for the day?
Oh, hello, little fella. Yeah.
I don't want to be a Ranger.
Let's just rent the Ranger for the price of our economy car.
I like that.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think let's do that.
ECAC football on Nesson is brought to you by Reebok. Performance you can feel. By Budget Rent-A-Car. Budget, get out of the ordinary. By AmeriSuites, America's affordable all-suites hotel. Visit www.amerisuites.com. And by the Spalding J5V, the official football of the ECAC. Well, they've had the toss of the coin. CW Post won the toss. AIC will be defending the goal to the north. That's to the left as we look at it from the booth. AIC will be kicking off, and Post will be defending the goal to the south and receiving, and that works well for Post's hope, anyway, of being able to keep the AIC offense off the field. They feel that if they're going to win the football game, they need to dominate the clock.
There's no question. You've got to keep AIC's high-powered offense off. And this is their strongest part, Tom. They feel they can establish some kind of running against AIC. It gives them a chance to see if they can get that done right at the start of the game.
This is the 13th time that AIC and CW Post have met, and it's the second time this year. Pioneers hold the edge 7-5. The series dates back to 1975. AIC, however, has won 3 of the last 4, 34-14 in 1994, 20-15 in 96, and 34-0 in what was the opening game of the season for the Pioneers this year. Post's lone win in the 90s was in 95, 31-22. Drew Smith will kick off for AIC. And the deep men for CW Post are Jim Kennedy, number 19, and Eddie Hardaway, number 82. It's Kennedy who takes it at the 15-yard line, has blockers in front of him, feels his way upfield, gets to the 38-yard line, and that is where CW Post, looking very much like the Green Bay Packers, will start the offense.
Now here's Pat Rock coming out. We talked about him earlier, Tom. You know, a steady guy, a guy who does not make mistakes, and he can throw the football. He gets the touchdown passes without the big errors, but you wonder, are they going to come out and try to establish this running attack first? I think they need to get that done.
Well, Kennedy comes wide out to the left side, and number 82, Eddie Hardaway, a big play guy, is to the right, I formation behind the quarterback, Pat Rock. Rock is going to throw on first down. Time to throw, scrambling right. Now he gets loose, and it is complete to number 32. That's Rick Herring, who is the tailback. Will be short of the first down. Here are your starting lineups. Backs and receivers for Post. Herring, the receiver on that first play. Carneglia, the fullback. Kennedy and Hardaway and Galasso, the receivers. Galasso, the tight end. From tackle to tackle, Smith, Volpe, Troiano, Monis, and Kowalski. And it is second down and 3 for CW Post. And off Herring, tailback, 1st and 10, and Herring is rumbling, 30-yard line. And Herring is going to be taken down, but not before he had toted the ball to the 8-yard line, 1st and goal for CW Post.
Tom, you look at this replay coming up, low angle, there's no fooling around, and this is Herring. This is what they have to do to be successful against AIC. You see the big offensive line, they get some pull, 58 to center, all district comes out, helps out. Straight ahead, no funny business, and you're beating the man to the end zone. That is a heck of a run, and that's all power football.
Once again, Hardaway wide to the right. Tight end left side, I formation in the backfield for the Pioneers. 1st and goal, Herring inside the 5 with tacklers hanging on, and Herring totes it down to the 2 or 3 yard line. Impressive offensive beginning for CW Post. Here's the defensive starting lineup for AIC. Robinson, Baptista, Hernandez, and McLeod. Hebert, Thompson, and Allen, the linebackers. And then you have Banyo, DeGrigley, Theo Harris, who's a replacement for the usual starting free safety, and Bob Parker with those 8 interceptions. 2nd and goal for CW Post from the 2-yard line. This is Herring again, and Herring is in for the score. Amazing beginning for CW Post. Shut out 34-0 by this AIC team back in September. On their first series, they roll easily for a touchdown. Pass completion, long run, couple crunches.
Here we go, pulling the guard, more people to the point of attack, and just muscle and muscle. AIC's defensive line not typically big enough to stop a mounted attack.
And the extra point is good. It is a 7-0 lead for CW Post. Bang, bang down the field, and they have 7 on the board. The Eastern Football Conference Championship game, and the Pioneers have the lead 7-0.
Trinity College has decided to change its world. One of the boldest plans. Outside the walls of Trinity College is a construction boom. Trinity is leading a $175 million urban revitalization program. This unorthodox college president has set out to restore his community to health and his institution to preeminence. This is not pie in the sky, it's real. A counterattack on the trend of urban decline. Trinity is committed to hands-on urban renewal. Trinity College, building an extended community of learning.
You're a business traveler. You're on the... Oops, that's for later. You're on the road a lot. Your needs are relatively simple. Even I'd use that. You'd like a warm, comfortable bed. A separate office area with a desk, 2 phone lines. I'd like a phone there. A mini kitchen with wet bar, refrigerator, and coffee maker. You're getting the picture. And you'd like a free, bountiful breakfast buffet to keep you going all day. You don't expect much. You just expect AmeriSuites Hotels. They take care of you, so you can take care of business.
First score of the game. You're going to see down here in the goal line, very well done. Pulling guard comes up, no match for a little linebacker, opens a huge hole. First big score, erases the shutout of the first game of the season.
For Herring, his 8th, or Corneglia rather. For Corneglia, that's his 5th rushing touchdown. Well, big threats back deep for AIC. That's a long, high kick. Dan Grant at the 2-yard line. Grant a threat. Galliard was back there with him, and Grant keeps getting pounded and finally goes to the ground at the 19-yard line. Did not get back to the 20. And there, AIC, boy, with just power all over the place offensively. Quarterback Rick Hebert, running back Kevin Galliard, wide receiver Dan Grant. They have rewritten the record books, passing, receiving, and rushing here at AIC. Rick Hebert out of Haverhill, Mass., an academic All-American. His brother is a linebacker on the other side of the ball.
You know, this big offensive line is largely due to Coach Tom Godek. We'll talk about him after this play. Just a big monster who's changed the whole way AIC plays.
Offensive line averages about 315 yards, and they're going to go long on first down. Dan Grant has it at the 45, out of bounds. 1st and 10, AIC on the first play from scrimmage. The tackle by Claudio Pesci.
You know, coming out, Tom, they said they wanted to get Grant the ball. They were going to send him long on the first play. They did exactly that. Nice play action pass, beautiful protection. That ball is right on target, and you go to the guy that's going to try to win that game for you. And
Dan Grant, excuse me, Mike, Dan Grant is another district academic All-American and academic All-American candidate, I guess I have to say. Galliard is the tailback behind Hebert. They give it to Galliard. There's some daylight up the middle, and he rumbles into CW Post territory to the 46-yard line, a gain of 9. Kenny Irby making the tackle. Grant, Galliard, Bland, Allen, and Jandro, the backs and receivers. Crevison, Porter, McLaughlin, West, and Boswell, those Hulks from tackle to tackle for AIC offensively.
You know, we're in for a treat today, Tom. AIC comes out each game. Their first 20 plays are scripted. They've been practicing this all week, one after another, and away they go.
2nd and 2. Galliard again. 1st and 10 and more. Galliard up the middle. 3 guys have him, but he totes it to the 25-yard line. And we are in for some offensive fireworks if this game goes the way it has so far. There is an AIC player who is shaken up between the 35 and the 40-yard line.
Here we go in that replay. You see the domination of this offensive line. You know, Coach Tom Gotta came over here in '94. For the first 2 years, he coached for only $800 a year, Tom. He was a high-ranking executive with AT&T, decided he'd rather work with the kids. He came up with Brian Carroll, another guy, $800 a year, and they said, we're going to turn this program around. They've really done it. 320-pound linemen, and all these guys can play. They know their schemes and what's going on.
Well, let's look at the defensive lineup for Post. They will have Ricketts, LaPointe, Moriello, and Cook. Defensive end to defensive end with Irby, Bayron, Andrillo, and Rennie as the linebackers. And defensively in the backfield, Gabriel Frazier, Eric Williams, and Claudio Pesci. AIC tackle to tackle, we mentioned, offensively 315 pounds per man. Surprisingly large. This is, by the way, Division II football.
But these guys, Tom, they're playing Division I caliber schemes.
1st and 10. Hebert to Galliard. Galliard slips a couple of tacklers. There he goes again inside the 15 to the 13 or 14-yard line. This, aside from the opening play of the ball game, that long heave to Dan Grant, has been all Kevin Galliard.
You know, again, you're seeing guards pulling. You see a huge hole. I mean, this is a 3-yard hole, Tom. I'm telling you, you and I could run through this hole. If we had this line in front of us, we could actually get some yards.
Irby and Rennie making the tackle for CW Post, but not before Galliard had ripped off another sizable gain. Mike Novembre in the lineup at the fullback spot for AIC, number 24. Pitch, Galliard, cuts left. He is inside the 5, makes a dive for the goal line, doesn't get there, but gets very close down to the vicinity of the 1 or 2 yard line.
You know, you look at some of the running styles in the leagues around the country. Galliard runs everything correct. The hips move right, Tom. The eyes are always moving. When it comes to contact, he's slicing. He's not taking hits he doesn't have to, and that makes him incredibly dangerous. You can't figure out which way he is going to take on that attack.
And as AIC broke from the huddle, the referees blew the whistle. Maybe a problem with the clock.
Please reset the clock for 11:53. Please reset the clock for 11:53.
Talking with some of the officials as they arrived by car a little while ago, they were saying they watched the Williams-Amherst game last year on the rebroadcast on Monday. They said they watched it because it was such a good ball game, and they waited and caught the Patriots a little bit late. Made me feel kind of good.
Tom, these are the best football games. I've played football for 14 years. Down a little bit with Jerry Glanville, of course, the New England Patriots, Boston College, Doug Fluteyville. I have seen some of the best games in this past 4 weeks that I've seen in the last 4 years. These are great guys. Most of them are not going to be in front of the NFL, and they're playing because they enjoy it, and it's exciting.
Well, they've loaded up in the backfield. 1st and goal for AIC. The ball's on the 2 yard line. pitch is for Galliard. Blockers in front, and he can just waltz into the end zone. That was no problemo. 7-6. Kevin Galliard has his first touchdown of the afternoon. He averages just about 3, and it is 7-6.
You've got to look at this offensive line. There is not one yellow helmet penetrating. Everybody's boxed to the inside. He just walks into the end zone. And again, Tom, we'll probably hear it a lot. A lot of it goes to Coach Tom Godek, also a high-ranking college player.
And the game is tied. On the extra point following the touchdown by Galliard, first quarter EFC championship game, Springfield, Massachusetts. The score is tied at 7.
It's about figuring out what I want to do with my life.
It's about exploring my options.
And pursuing my dreams. It's about setting goals.
And making decisions.
It's about making friends.
And making connections.
It's about loving where I am.
And where I'm going.
It's my college education.
It's CW Post.
It's CW Post.
It's CW Post.
The choice is clear. CW Post, Long Island University.
American International College is a school rich in tradition, committed to academic excellence. With 16 varsity sports for men and women, AIC is one of the most successful Division II schools in the region, winning numerous conference championships and reaching the NCAA championships in several sports. Many of our athletes are Dean's List students, and a number have been named academic All-Americans. Small classes, personal attention, and a long history of providing quality education. It all adds up to affordable excellence at American International College.
Some people say that a university gets you ready to go out into the real world. At the University of Massachusetts Lowell, you won't have to wait because you'll be learning in the real world. We will challenge you in ways you never dreamed of. You will have the confidence to lead the efforts to preserve our environment, develop the next wave of technology, improve education and healthcare, and strengthen our economy. All advances that will help to make a better life for you and your family. The University of Massachusetts Lowell, offering a real-world advantage.
Well, I don't suppose the rest of the game will go at the same pace, but we've had 14 points scored in the first 3 minutes and 27 seconds. So we're on our way to something like 120 to 120 tie.
Works for me, I'll tell you. You know, there's so many great stories today, Tom. I think one of them is just the caliber of coaches on both sides. We have the Coach of the Year with CW Post, and we have more stories to tell throughout this broadcast than Heinz has pickles. This is what football was meant to be.
Brian Collins, as you look at Art Wilkins, the head coach here at AIC, Bucknell College graduate, double major in English and history, once told me that he looks at football as if it were something akin to religion. I don't want to overstate that, obviously, but extremely well-spoken gentleman who's been at Appalachian State. He's been at South Carolina, was with Joe Paterno at Penn State for several years. He has been around in this game. This is his first head coaching position, and he's taken AIC to the top level in Division II. The kick is taken by Hardaway at the 7-yard line for Post. A long and lanky type returner back to the 32-yard line, and CW Post goes on the offense in a tie ball game, 7-7.
You know, Hardaway recently recognized another all-district player as a kick returner. Certainly a threat out there. And, Tom, they can put him anywhere in the field and score points.
This is the third ever Eastern Football Conference Championship. The first one was played right here at AIC 2 years ago. Rock to throw, maybe. Giving more ground than he really wants to. Gets rid of the ball, and it falls incomplete. That could have been intercepted.
Now
Mo Hernandez was there on the coverage, and so was Rashawn Allen.
That's one of the few poor decisions we've seen Rock make this year. You never throw back across the field, and if you're going to get rid of it and you're not sure, you throw it to the sidelines, Tom, not right in the middle of the field where everybody's at.
In that first ever EFC Conference Championship game, Albany beat AIC 27-20. 2nd and 10 for CW Post. Herring up to the 45, first and 10 yardage, a gain of 12, and it'll be first and 10 again for the Pioneers. Hebert and DeGrigley making the tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
You know, we talk about CW Post, the #1 rushing offense in the league. You see right there, this is just a straight-ahead punishing type of rushing game, and it's what's given them a 9-game streak.
Kennedy wide here to the left side. This is Ian Smart. He is a breakaway threat. Flag is thrown, and Smart hauls the ball down to the 45-yard line. That'll be a gain of 7 or 8 yards. And Bob Parker and Milliam McLeod come up to make the tackle for AIC. Every time they hand the ball off to somebody in either white or black, they're gaining 8, 9, 10 yards.
Well, you know, it's the addition of Ian Smart that's really helped the CW Post ball game. Little sticky fingers on behalf of the Yellow Jackets. He gives Herring a chance to rest. They can't key on the one guy, and I think you're going to see a lot of this 1-2 punch all game today, Tom.
There's a message for the rest of the EFC, although they are certainly aware of Ian Smart. Early in the season, he wasn't starting. You look at Brian Collins, the head coach for CW Post, but he finished rushing for 861 yards in 10 games, and he scored 11 touchdowns. Now, you've already seen Kevin Galliard. In Galliard's freshman year, and Smart is a freshman at CW Post, he scored only 9 touchdowns.
It could be 100-90 today.
We are tied at 7-7. Rock, time, is looking at good coverage, going to have to run with it, and takes it across the line of scrimmage and carries it out of bounds.
Now that's
at the 48-yard line.
That's what you expect with Rock. That's what he brings to the game, Pat Rock. No big mistakes.
Talked a little bit earlier with Coach Brian Collins about what it is that his team is going to have to do in order to win this ball game against AIC.
It's a very powerful line, and they do. They're very well coached, and they do some great things with the zone schemes. Our feeling is that we're going to go after them. We're going to do some things, stay low, play with leverage, try to beat them with our quickness rather than strength, and that's our game plan, to attack their offensive line.
And Ian Smart gaining 5 yards. Rashawn Allen making the tackle for the Yellow Jackets. 10 minutes and 15 seconds left to play. 7-7 tie. Both teams scored on their initial offensive possession. I think AIC has failed to score only, what, did you say, Mike, 3 times in the last 3 years?
3 times in the last 3 years are the only instances they did not score in the first drive.
Hardaway in motion left to right. The pass for Hardaway is incomplete. 4th down and 5 for CW Post, and Pioneers quickly set up in punt formation, hoping to catch the Yellow Jackets ill-prepared. Sean Allen, number 11, is the returner for the Yellow Jackets. Punter is Joe Gordon, who averages a little over 32 yards per punt. Boy, a high floating snap. Likewise, the punt, and off the right side of his foot and out of bounds, very, very short. That's going to be less than a 20-yard punt.
You know, Tom, they're going to have to add some acting lessons to the CW Post degree program. The punter, number 99, just tapped in the ankle at the end of that punt. You would have thought he was shot from the grandstand the way he fell down. Good call on the referee.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for AIC, starting at their own 36-yard line after a very short punt. Mike Peterson is wide out to the near side. Dan Grant in the slot along with Mike Bland, all to the right side. Hebert to throw. Over the middle to Grant, right at the 50-yard line. 14-yard completion, 1st and 10, AIC.
You know, they talked before the game. They're going to put Grant at 4 different positions. We look at the replay here from the end zone. They're going to try to sneak him in from all different angles. Harry comes kind of as a wide out, scrapes across the middle, right between the linebackers in that curl zone. That is a great football play.
Wide receivers all to the right side. Same group once again. Peterson and Grant and Bland. They give it to Galliard, and Galliard is held to a gain of only 2 or 3 yards. It's the first time they've given him the football that he hasn't gone for 8 or more.
Well, you know, when they come up to the line of scrimmage, unlike a lot of other teams, these guys call 4 out of their 5 plays, Tom, as audibles on the line of scrimmage. They've got a quarterback they feel can read the defense correctly and put the ball where it's best for them. That is very rare, and they do an excellent job at it.
Evans and Moriello making the tackle for CW Post. Here is 2nd down and 8. The fake to Galliard. Hebert in the air, incomplete. Dan Grant was over there, but the ball was thrown out of bounds. Galliard needs 173 yards today in order to become the all-time leading rusher ever in college football. If he does it, he would surpass Barry Sanders. That's all divisions, 1, 2, and 3. And 173 yards of rushing for most people is a big afternoon. For him, that's a C- or a D+ kind of a day. Hebert again to throw. Pressure over the middle. Complete to Galliard. 40-yard line. Away from a tackler. Galliard to the 17 for AIC. First down for the Yellow Jackets.
I'll tell you, we talk about the stars of the game. Charlie Cook chugging a lugging, 1/10 of a second away. Comes off that line of scrimmage like a ball of knives. Comes up, bam, just barely misses them. Big play. This is going to be a game and a half. You look at that presence of mind. The other people are not in his league, Tom. Galliard is just above and beyond everybody on this field today.
Galliard with 18 receptions coming into the game today, has 2 already this afternoon. 8 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. Handoff, Galliard spins away. 10-yard line with people hanging on, and Galliard takes them with him to the 7-yard line.
You know, CW Post is going to have to bring some backers, Tom. They're going to have to come up and fill that line of scrimmage. You'll see on the replay right here, there is tremendous push on behalf of AIC. All linemen tied up. That is just extra effort. Takes 4 hits before he finally goes down.
Moriello and Ricketts make the tackle. Galliard already with 100 total yards, 65 rushing yards. He averages for the season a 9-yard gain every time he takes the football.
You know, that we're seeing history, quite possibly history being made right today. You know, in New England, conference championship, 2 great teams.
10 yards
Beautiful
from the spot
day.
of the foul.
Does not get
First
any
down.
better than this.
Penalty has brought the ball back to the 26-yard line.
I heard what he told you.
It was going to be 1st and goal, and it is now going to be first. It looks like 20. Novembre now is in as the tailback for AIC. And Hebert drops the throw on 1st and long, incomplete. Went right off the hands of the intended receiver, Mike Bland, who is from Albany, New York. Same high school, as a matter of fact, as Kevin Galliard, who comes back into the game now and replaces Novembre.
Here we go again. Cook has to be the key to this day. This is excellent blocking. If he doesn't get into the game, CW Post is going to have a long, long day.
So it's 2nd and 20 for AIC. Dan Grant wide to the right side. Galliard is the tailback. Hebert's going to throw it again over the middle. It is complete to the 17-yard line to Sean Allen.
This is what makes AIC so deadly, Tom. You know, they can run the ball and run it down your throat. Just when you tighten up on the run, you bring some guys up to the line of scrimmage, bam, they hit you with a pass, and they have weapons that can catch this football.
34-0 last, the first time these two teams played. Galliard rushed for only 155, but AIC had 453 to 127 total yards for CW Post. 3rd and 10, Hebert scrambling and throws, and it is complete. Down by the goal line, do they call it a reception? And yes, they do, down at about the 1-yard line.
You know, the quarterback gains so much confidence working behind a big stud offensive line like this. They just don't panic, Tom. You're see great presence of mind in this replay. The quarterback's back there. He's not in a hurry. He's reading the defense. He's looking to the right. Nothing there. He scrambles a little bit. great confidence, poise, bam, right at the goal line.
First and goal for AIC. Touchdown here. Any kind of points gives them the lead. Galliard, second touchdown of the day, and AIC grabs a lead at 13-7. But there is a flag. Hold on. Flag is on the near side at about the 3-yard line.
You know, you get down here, the tempers get a little hot, everybody gets a little anxious. And sometimes even defensive players make an error.
Touchdown stands, as you see, offsides against CW Post, and it's declined.
You know, again, the pressure up front, it's just not present. He's able to walk right in the end zone. They're going to have to change that, Tom. They're going to have to come with some stunts or blitzes, something to shake up the scheme.
Brian Frederick will kick the extra point. Snap, kick, good. 14-7, AIC with a lead in the first quarter. Kevin Galliard already with 2 touchdowns, and we have 3 quarters plus 7 minutes and 12 seconds to play. We'll be back on Nesson after this.
We want you to vote, eat, and win. The National Hockey League and Wendy's wants you to choose your favorite players for the NHL All-Star Game. It's a battle for global domination as North America takes on the world for the 50th NHL All-Star Game in Toronto. Watch the game only on ABC. Pick up your Wendy's official NHL All-Star ballot at the arena or vote online at NHL.com. You could win a 2000 Dodge Dakota Quad Cab and other great prizes. Winners will be announced during the NHL All-Star Game on ABC, so vote now.
Celebrate the 11th annual Boston Bruins Wives Charity Carnival, Sunday, January 9th, to benefit the Daniel A. Larson Foundation. Step right up and choose your carnival session. The early bird from 12 to 2. All tickets are $20 and limited to the first 1,000 sold. Or general admission from 3:30 to 6:30. $12 for adults and $6 for kids. Tickets are available at the Fleet Center box office, all Ticketmaster locations, or by calling 617-931-2222.
Some fine hot dogs going on down behind the stands.
It's getting me hungry, Tom. I'm about to, call one of those emergency timeouts and run down there.
Well, every time this guy plays, he has a remarkable ball game, and this one is even more so than most. Galliard, with his second touchdown of the game, needs 68 all-purpose yards to set an NCAA all-division record.
You can't overestimate the meaning of number 22 on this football team. He makes everybody play that much better, Tom. You're always in the game when he's playing.
CW Post 2 receivers, Kennedy and Hardaway, stand together. Now they split. And it's going Hardaway's way, pardon the redundancy, at the 15-yard line, up the middle with a wall of blockers, and they break through and take him down at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers from there for CW Post. 7.5 minutes played, 21 points on the board. We're on a triple-figure pace.
Tom, this is like chumming in a boat. You're throwing the blood in the water, and the Sharks are starting to circle, and they're circling early. AIC is going to try to come out and just now dominate and crush the spirit of CW Post. I don't think they're going to be able to do it, but this is a big, big drive for CW.
Hardaway wide on the right side. Kennedy here on the left on the pitchback. It's fumbled and covered at the 24-yard line. The pitch was to the tailback, number 32, Rick Herring, who scored, who was a factor in that drive. It was Carneglia who scored their touchdown.
Yeah. Here we see Rick. He does not always get the ball that much. A little nervous. Ball bounces off the fingers. You can't have that in championship football.
Herring was the leading rusher last year with 578 yards and 4 touchdowns. He gets the ball again, powers out across the 25 to the 26 or 7 yard line. He's not a Gaillard type of a runner. This is a straight ahead kind of a guy who will run over you. Rashawn Allen making that tackle for AIC.
You know, you look at the blocking from the end zone. Now the center's a key guy here. They're all district guy. They're getting some movements on the guard. And AIC does not put a lot of people right up there on the ball. That's what they're trying to exploit, Tom. They're trying to run in those gaps.
6 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and AIC leads 14-7. Again, we need to alter the clock. The referee is trying to communicate up here to the booth to add some seconds onto the clock, and they do. 6:13. I thought when it went to 61 minutes and 30 seconds, there was maybe a problem. Art Wilkins.
I think we have a little hometown advantage with the clock, Tom. They gave the guy too much coffee this morning, and he's speeding that thing up.
CW Post comes out of the huddle with Kennedy wide left. Hardaway goes to the right. And Rock on the draw play hands to Carneglia to the 30-yard line. So it's a gain of just 3 yards. The tackle by Carl Robinson, number 91 for the Yellow Jackets.
You know, right here, this is the perfect play to run. They've got the tackles out wide. You know, there's a lot of room to run. Just picks the wrong hole and doesn't get the job done. You can't get out of your game this early, Tom.
A new returner back for AIC. Number 9 is Bob Parker. Fair catch to his knees at the 38-39 yard line. Well, the other thing is the CW Post plan / hope of keeping the ball on the ground and keeping the AIC offense off the field. It's difficult to do that if you're playing from behind.
It is, and I think, you know, right now we saw a pitch, you know, to a fellow who's not their star running back. Little trouble there. You can't panic this early in a football game. You have to stick with what brought you here.
Let's go now, Big Al. Can't be stopped. Can't be stopped.
So AIC starts this drive at their 39-yard line. They lead 14-7. Hebert to Novembre, and Novembre gets stood up at the 43, falls forward to the 45-yard line. He comes in to replace Gaillard and rips off 6 yards over right tackle. Rich Rennie making the tackle for the Pioneers.
You know, Julius Bayron is an outside linebacker for CW. They really need him to get in the game. You see a lot of scraping. He has to basically follow that ball anywhere in the field just to step behind the play. He has to get there just a hair earlier.
Novembre with a 6-yard gain stays in at tailback on this play. 2nd and 4 for the Yellow Jackets. Novembre again, first down to the 50-yard line. And it doesn't make any difference whether it's Gaillard or somebody else back there running behind that huge offensive line. They're picking up ground. Rich Rennie, yet another tackle for the Pioneers.
You know, again, look at the domination there. They're cutting off. That was Big Charlie Cook. They cut him off. He's able to break the corner, get a couple of good yards. One of the keys to this game is Tom Goddick. You know, we said it earlier. This is an offensive line coach who's probably one of the best in the division, Tom. And he's 6'5", 320 pounds himself, and not much of it's jiggly.
Gaillard got a little breather. Now he's back in at tailback with the handoff. And this time they stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Charlie Cook, big number 92.
Gotta like this guy. I mean, this is a football player. He's been getting pressure, but he's been alone in his pressure, so they've been able to run away from him. Right now, you see, this is actually a double team. He splits it, gets to the running back. That is a big football play, and that is very hard to do.
The spot of the ball gives Gaillard 1 yard. Tight end now in the backfield as Mike Bland moves into the fullback spot. Gaillard is the tailback. They were high school teammates. Pitch to Gaillard with Bland leading it, and Gaillard is spun down as he gets to the 47-yard line. That gain will be 3 yards. Hashim Evans, the tackle for CW Post.
And we'll see number 66, white, Matt LaPointe. You know, you run away from Charlie Cook. Well, they've got some other stars there, too. Stands up the offensive guard. You go to cut in. Well, guess what? There's just not room this time. He's going to be needing a lot of that.
3 minutes and 22 seconds. AIC with the no huddle. Straight back, Hebert. Over the middle, complete. That's Galliard again to the 41-yard line. Maybe have the first down, but looks like he's going to be just a little short. And they are, as you mentioned, Mike Ruth, earlier, they're going to Galliard out of the backfield as a pass receiver a lot this afternoon. Eric Williams making that tackle.
Yeah, they want to move him around. You see, he's not even in the backfield. They want to get him in the game in any way they can. They've actually practiced him for this game, Tom, at 4 different positions just so that people could not key on him alone.
AIC crowd fires up as the AIC bench players turned and exhorted them to get into it. On the quarterback sneak, Hebert goes for the first down across the 40-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 there for AIC. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to play. First quarter, already a 14-7 game.
You don't want small children in the middle of these two guys when they call this play, Tom. That's about 2,000 pounds of people hitting each other and only trying to get 3 inches.
Rick Hebert from Haverhill, Mass. We were talking with he and his teammates Galliard and Grant earlier in the week, and talked with Art Wilkins, who said that when he arrived here, Hebert that is, from Haverhill High School, that as a high school quarterback, he was hardly ever threw the ball, maybe 5-7 times. But within 2 weeks, after they showed him the proper techniques of throwing the football, he was throwing it just magnificently, and he has rewritten the record books and done it on a football team that has Kevin Galliard doing so much. So he hasn't thrown it as often as some quarterbacks on some other ball clubs would, and yet he's thrown it so effectively. His completion percentage is in the high 60s. Galliard to the line of scrimmage and stopped for a 1-yard gain. Some people piling in late as if the ball might have come loose, but I don't think so.
You'll see Rich Rickens, 5 sacks, 56 outside linebacker. He's not fooling anybody. Wham! You see, he just knocked over a 330-pound guy on his back who's pulling, Tom. That is a nasty football play.
Basically no gain for Galliard on that play. 2nd and 10 for AIC. Mike Peterson is wide out on this side, so is Grant. Galliard out of the backfield. He is hit just as he released the ball, and that's the reason that the pass fell about 10 yards short of anybody. Charlie Cook.
Big belly Charlie Cook. Here he comes. You know, he's been close a couple of times today. This is a big play. It forces them into 3rd down. You'll see him come around. There's Ricketts on the far side of your screen. Here comes Charlie Cook. Bam! Just hits that elbow as the ball goes, and it sends it errant. Could have been an interception.
1:37 to go. First quarter. AIC with the ball. 7-point lead. 14-7. Pair of touchdowns by Galliard, who is the tailback. Hebert saw Cook coming. Man behind him. Flips it to Novembre. Novembre to the 25-yard line. First down. AIC. Gabriel Frazier, the tackle.
I'll tell you, this is heady play. Novembre. I'll tell you, thank goodness these guys are very sharp in their reads, Tom. This is a big scramble. This is meant to the other side of the field. There's nothing happening. He gets right behind the linebackers, the only place he really can get, and he doesn't drop the ball. That's a big save.
Grant and Allen are wide left side. Torrance Sanders offset in the eye. They give the handoff, excuse me, not Sanders, but Mark Silvestri, number 40, as opposed to number 10, and he's knocked down behind the line by Kenny Irby.
It's going to get heated. This is championship football, Tom. And championship football usually means defense. A lot of good down blocking on behalf of AIC. Up comes Kenny Irby, and he just makes a big play. They have to stop them here and show some resistance.
Like injured player for CW Post is number 56. That's Rich Ricketts, sophomore, 6'3", 263 from Brooklyn and John Jay High School. Last year, by the way, in this EFC Conference Championship game out at Albany, New York against UAlbany, which has since moved up to Division I AA, AIC got out in front 24-0. Lost the game 25-24. Albany played AIC also 2 years ago, and Albany won on this very field 27-20.
You know, you look at the scoring, 41.8 points per game. That is just unheard of. That's like a nightmare for a defense to try to prepare against. And CW Post leading the league in rushing defense and scoring, 18.9 scoring. I think you're going to need a defensive score on behalf of CW, Tom, to give these guys some added momentum.
Well, there's no question that AIC has been successful to this point in running the football. Galliard has been just rumbling everywhere. But in this series, it hasn't been as obvious. I mean, Galliard's been stopped for no gain, stopped for one. We've had a flag here, and so it's 2nd down now and 13 as Hebert retreats and throws. It is complete over the middle to John Groh, the tight end. John Groh inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Hashim Evans and Julius Bayron, one of the captains for the Pioneers, making the tackle.
Well, Tom, you're exactly right. It's the flags that have killed AIC to date. They've been down here a couple of times with some penalties. Nice pass protection. Ball right over the middle. What are you going to do? You bring your linebackers up to stop the run, and they throw right behind you.
John Groh with the reception. Here is 3rd down and 4. And time runs out on the first quarter with the score at John Homer Miller Field in Springfield, Massachusetts for the Eastern Football Conference Championship. American International Yellow Jackets 14, CW Post Pioneers 7.
People really like SUVs.
They're big, they're roomy.
They're perfect for the outdoors.
You know what would be a great promotion? Rent a Ford Explorer for the price of our Taurus if you climb Mount Everest.
Let's just do the Explorer for the price of our Taurus.
That's a great deal. I would have to agree.
Yeah.
It's a good deal, good
Sums
car.
it up. Very nice.
For some time now, our goal of the Great Society has been within reach. But alas, there is a threat in our midst. These shoes are corrupting our society. The DMX moving air system reacts to the wearer's stride, encouraging individuality. Stores all over the country are actually selling the DMX shoes as I speak. Reebok represents a threat to our glorious conformity. They must be stopped.
You're a business traveler. You're on the... that's for later. You're on the road a lot. Your needs are relatively simple. Even I'd use that. You'd like a warm, comfortable bed. A separate office area with a desk. 2 phone lines. I'd like a phone there. A mini kitchen with wet bar, refrigerator, and coffee maker. You're getting the picture. And you'd like a free, bountiful breakfast buffet to keep you going all day. You don't expect much. You just expect AmeriSuites Hotels. They take care of you, so you can take care of business.
Ryan Collins from AIC went 5-3 in his first 8 games as a head coach last year, and since then have gone 11-1. And the one loss was the one against AIC down at CW Post in the opening game of the season. His career record is 16-4 to this point. Look at that, 196 yards of total offense in the first quarter for AIC. They have the ball, 3rd down and 4. From the CW Post 19-yard line. Galliard, the 1st and 10 to the 11 or 12-yard line.
You know, right there, that was running behind big right tackle Brian Boswell, 6'7", 315 pounds. Tom, this is the guy that they go to.
This is Boswell's little boy.
This is Boswell's little boy. You'll see him right here. He's just dominant. It takes you 2 seconds just to run around him, and with Gilliard, he doesn't need that time.
1st down at the 13 for AIC. Rick Hebert, Haverhill, Mass, pitch to Galliard, Albany, New York. Galliard trying to turn the corner, does, inside the 10, goes out of bounds down around the 7-yard line, maybe the 6-yard line. Kevin Galliard just continues to pile up the yardage and move ever closer to the CW Post goal line, which he has already crossed twice this afternoon.
We look at the replay here, you know, a simple toss play out to the left. That defense is actually pretty good. You're just seeing Gilliard's speed is just so great, they cannot catch up with him.
Well, what an afternoon we have here, too. It's in the mid-60s on November the what? I mean, tailback is Galliard. Again gets it inside the 5, leaps to the 3-yard line. And that could be first down yardage, and we may be looking at first and goal with 4 whacks at getting it in for the 3rd time for AIC.
You know, you'll see Julius Bayron, number 10, coming in, you know, trying to fill that gap. Gilliard just gives him a little shake of the hips and does get forward for some positive yards.
First and goal for AIC. Very few rushing records at AIC that Kevin Galliard has not set. He has had just a spectacular career. Broke the school scoring record last year as a junior with 23 rushing touchdowns and 146 points. Has shattered that record again this year with 30 touchdowns and 182 points. Let's see what we have. Are we changing the clock again?
You know, this is just a tough situation to be in, Tom. First down the goal line, strong running back. These guys are going to have to get their shovels out, dig some trenches, and bring some heat from the outside in hopes of cutting off this running attack.
Clock read 14:20. Thought he was putting a few more seconds, or some of the crowd, here at John Homer Miller Field. Not far off the Mass Pike. And a little bit further down the road is Springfield College. There has been a great rivalry between AIC and Springfield. They're only about a mile apart. In fact, we saw those two teams in the opening game of the ECAC College Football Game of the Week package a couple of years ago down at Springfield. Springfield has had some outstanding ball clubs of their own. They play Division III, and AIC, of course, Division II. CW Post side of the field.
You know, there's been some very good coaching. You talk about Hebert being able to get a great passing attack. You know, another fella, Brian Carroll, left the family business, came to AIC again for $800 a year to work just with the quarterbacks and the receivers, and he's really done the job in developing an attack that has both the passing and the running. He works constantly with these receivers, constantly with the quarterback, 16 hours a day. And the thing that I really like, Tom, is one of the main characteristics coming in was I want good quality character coaches. That's what I want on AIC, and they certainly have done that.
The problem that we have here, the delay, is with the 25-second clock. And the referee announced just a moment ago that the 25-second clock will be kept on the field. So in your picture, if you see the 25-second clock over in the corner of the end zone, ignore it. AIC first and goal. Galliard with a chance for his 3rd touchdown of the day is not going to get there. Swarmed as he got back to the line of scrimmage, actually had to avoid a potential tackler behind the line of scrimmage, and they pretty well wrapped him up, swarmed him at the line of scrimmage.
You know, here we go. This is what they need to do. They need to penetrate. You see number 56 split the double team, get into the backfield, slows up Galliard enough that he can bring his buddies over to help put him down. They're going to have to start slicing some of these gaps, Tom.
Yeah, brought a lot of his friends to the party. Irby, Bayron, and Williams all involved in the tackle. There may have been a couple of others, matter of fact. And it's 2nd and goal. As you look at it, looking right down the goal line. Hebert himself rolling left, had him by the jersey, and he goes down back at the 5-yard line. A loss of 2.
And who was that?
Charlie Cook.
Fat Belly Charlie Cook. That's the name from this point out. You look at him coming across. He's coming from the far side of the field, you know, going against a strong offensive tackle. I'm sorry, splits it up the middle, gets one finger and pulls him down.
Galliard tried to block him and could not. 3rd and goal now from the 5-yard line. Novembre and Galliard set in the running back spots. Hebert rolling right to throw. Ooh, throws it right into the ground. Intentionally? Not intentionally, but just spiked it. Rich Rennie was on the coverage.
You know, you talk about character, Tom. There is nothing harder than having 1st and goal on the 2 or 3 yard line and stopping a high-powered running attack. You know, if a team comes in passing on you, that's one thing. But when you know you're going against a running team and you're on the goal line, this is character in abundance with CW right now to stop this TD.
Art Wilkins, AIC head coach, looks on from the sideline. And the field goal attempt for AIC. From the 12-yard line, making it a 22-yard field goal. The kick is good. The AIC lead goes to 17-7. It's a 10-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. Eastern Football Conference Championship game on your New England Sports Network.
Trinity is really an amazing place when we look at those who have graduated from this institution. We have people who are leaders in medicine, in business, in the fine arts. We have alumni who are very famous and well-known, who won Pulitzer Prizes. We have also individuals who participate in the daily life of their cities and towns and the professions. I think what Trinity students like the best is that this is a nice place to be, that young people live in a liberal arts residential college, and residential is really the critical feature about Trinity. We become a family. We become very tight. We understand each other. We depend on each other. We cheer for each other in athletic performances or singing groups, in the classroom, on the debate team. It's very important that competition in a positive way is part of the Trinity experience. And competition is what kids are going to face when they go out in the real world. And we do it here in a supportive way. This is a family as well as an institution of higher education.
You're a business traveler. You're on the... that's for later. You're on the road a lot. Your needs are relatively simple. Even I'd use that. You'd like a warm, comfortable bed. A separate office area with a desk. 2 phone lines. I'd like a phone there. A mini kitchen with wet bar, refrigerator, and coffee maker. You're getting the picture. And you'd like a free, bountiful breakfast buffet to keep you going all day. You don't expect much. You just expect AmeriSuites Hotels. They take care of you, so you can take care of business.
Now 17-7 on the 22-yard field goal by Brian Frederick for AIC. We are in the second quarter with 12 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the first half. AIC has gotten out in front. They have, well, actually, CW Post scored first. AIC had to come back to tie the game, and there's the drive. Wow, 18 plays, 56 yards, and the field goal by Brian Frederick.
That was a good effort on both sides, Tom. That's the type of touchdown given up that can really do serious damage, almost break the back of a team. They stopped them. That keeps CW in the game. They need a good drive here with their game plan, nothing fancy, and get back on the board.
And again, it's Hardaway and Kennedy who are deep. Hardaway is the taller of the two back there, and Kennedy over on the far side of the field. They roll this one down the field, picked up by Kennedy, has a little bit of room, and out to the 33-yard line. If he could have beaten that tackler, he could have been on the way.
You know, they like him because this is, again, a guy who's all-district returner, a guy they feel can break away at any given time in the game, and they're going to always try to get him in the returns game, Tom. They have to.
Kennedy is a major threat for CW Post. There's no question about that. Co-captain missed the 96 season with a broken jaw that he suffered in the first week of the season. He's actually playing his 5th year. Inside handoff for Ian Smart. Smart to the 35-yard line. A gain of 2 yards on the play. They would like to get the ball to Smart from time to time. He is a serious breakaway threat. That was Pete DeGrigley and Dave Werda on the tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
Ian has the moves. He has the move and the slashing ability. A much different style of running than Herring. But You look at AIC, Tom, they're playing off the ball. You really don't want to go with a play-action type game plan. You want to hit them right where they live right away.
Smart was the leading rusher in the previous game, had 46 yards on 10 carries against AIC. He's the tailback now. Hardaway in motion. The ball again for Ian Smart. Stays on his feet, pulls away, 40-yard line, and taken out of bounds at the 42-yard line. It looked like he had run into a wall, and he ended up gaining about 4 yards on the play.
You can never stop until the whistle blows. You know, you see a stop of motion right here. Big number 75's pulling. Bam, point of attack. He knocks his own player down. They think, uh-oh, we've got him. Well, no, you don't. He keeps those legs pumping, does not go down. That is the type of guy that can help you in any championship game.
Theo Harris up to make the tackle. Adam Theo Harris, lest you think that Theo is his first name. Kennedy and Hardaway split right and left. Handoff is Smart, and he's taken down for a loss. Back at the 39-yard line. Big play, Rashawn Allen for AIC.
Sharp, sharp play. Number 51 coming through. He's on the blitz, Tom. You see him in the middle of the field. Comes right through, pulling guard. You know, when nobody blocks you, you can get some big tackles.
3 tackles and a TFL. Tackle for loss in the earlier game against Post. And there's a TFL for this afternoon. 4th down and 4. And the punt is going to drop short. Taken at the 30-yard line. Sean Allen trying to find some room. Spins away, and he gets to the sideline. Is going to be able to make something out of this. To the 49-yard line. That looked like it was going to be no return. Then it took a hop directly to him, and he had an awfully nice return out of it. Carried it back to the 49-yard line, the AIC 49.
You know, you watch this ball, Tom, the guys hesitate just for a second. Everything's on the line this game. This is the championship game. You can't hesitate. You run down on that kickoff, the only thing you want to see is stars exploding out of your forehead. You don't want to sit there and stop or slow down. A lesson learned by CW the hard way.
Flag back at the 28-yard line. AIC punt rusher ran into the kicker. And that nice return by Sean Allen is going to be taken away.
5-yard, running into the kicker against the defense. On the return, we had a block in the back against the receivers.
Ooh, AIC bad on that play.
Oh, boy. You know, this is a big penalty, Tom. Puts them back in the game. See what they can do.
It was 4th and 4. The 5-yard penalty running into the kicker.
The block in the back.
That's going to be 1st and 10.
Here is declined. The running into the is accepted. 1st down.
There you go.
It's times like these where the veterans need to tell their guys to settle down and let's play some ball.
Well, that's a penalty where possession of the football is involved. 1st and 10 for CW Post. 11 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the half. Look at this. That's Herring, and Herring carries the ball into AIC territory inside the 40, gets to the 37-yard line, maybe the 38, but that's another 1st down. They take advantage of the break. Tackle by Theo Harris.
Now, this is what CW has to do. This is straight ahead, no fooling around, running right behind the center. Offensive line, huge push. Defensive line's back 3-4 yards. That's CW's game. They got to stick with it. Nothing fancy.
Herring and Carneglia in the backfield. Carneglia lined up as the fullback. They give it to Herring. Herring comes straight ahead. He powers inside the 30. They stand him up at the 28, knock him back to the 30-yard line, but forward progress should give him the 29 anyway, and that's going to be a gain, Mike Ruth, of about 9 yards.
See, this is their game. Angelo Triano is their center. You know, this is one of the best centers in the conference. He comes out straight ahead, cuts off that linebacker, cuts off pursuit. You got to run the ball right at him. The only weak spot on AIC is an aggressive defensive line that's a little light, though.
2nd down and 2, and CW Post, with the benefit of a very big penalty, has a little drive going. Rock aims long for Hardaway, and is there a flag? No, there's not yet.
Oh, my goodness.
No flag.
Let's see that again.
Is going over to talk with the official who was back there and saying, why not? Mike Bonsu was there on the coverage.
Tom, I think we need the commissioner's home address here. You see this ball going, you cannot interfere with the receiver unless you're going for the football, that is smacking right in the chest. You can turn around for it, but you cannot push him back before the ball comes.
Incomplete pass, and on the play, straight ahead, gets to the 26-yard line. That's going to be first down, I believe. Yeah, first down for CW Post, so they keep the drive alive despite the incomplete pass. Baptiste and Hernandez. Baptiste, one of the team co-captains, along with Rick Hebert, the quarterback, both involved in that last tackle. First and 10, CW Post. Nice drive underway. Kennedy left, Hardaway right. Carneglia and Herring in the I formation behind the quarterback, Pat Rock. Hand off to the fullback, Carneglia. Inside the 20, falls to the 17. They may give him the 19. William McLeod.
This is where you just beat your man to the corner, Tom. The ball comes out, 54 black, just does not quite get there in time. Again, straight ahead football. I think that's what Post is all about.
That was a gain of 7, so it is now second down and 3. Kennedy left, Hardaway right, I formation, Carneglia and Herring. Rock looks to throw. Keep it himself. Left, now throws, complete to the tight end, down at the 7-yard line. First and 10, it's going to be first and goal for CW Post, Matt Galasso. Excellent speed for a tight end. Their number 2 receiver, his first catch of the day, Theo Harrison Parker, the tackle.
This is what's called enjoying playing football in a recess yard. I don't think anybody designed this play, Tom. This is run for your life. Please, someone help me. Thank you very much. And we've got a big play.
Galasso's first reception today averages just under 18 yards per reception. First and goal from the 9. Herring, right side, trying to outrun a tackler. They get him at the 5 and toss him down there. That was Theo Harris again, and he's in the starting lineup because of the absence of Earl Price, number 46, and Theo Harris has been making some stops.
You know, you look at Herring here. This is a hard-nosed runner, maybe not the best speed. You'll see him here. He's cutting the ball to the outside. He knows where he has to get to. It's just a foot race. Uses a nice straight arm there. Nice concentration on number 6 for AIC. Great play.
8:05 to go. CW Post tapping on the door. Rock rolling left and throws. It is complete to Conaglia. Touchdown. And CW Post is back within 4. It is 17-13.
Beautifully executed play. You'll see number 33 down in the goal line, Tom. You want to spread those guys out. They have to respect the run right up the middle. You know, you just drag that back across, delayed behind the linebackers. Bam, touchdown.
Tony Balkin. Oh, this is going to be 2 points for AIC. All the way back. That is Mike Bonsu, number 7 for AIC, coming up with a football on the extra point try, and that is officially a safety.
You know, there's times like this where you know, you finally get a good drive going, you get some points on the board, you're thankful, but it just takes the momentum you just gained away. Here we see.
Oh, man.
Terrible. I think that fellow might have forgot to put his glasses on, Tom.
And Bonsu just takes it all the way back. So instead of the extra point for CW Post, they put 2 over under AIC. And where it was going to be a 3-point ball game, it's now back to a 6-point lead for AIC at 19-13. How weird is that?
Well, we've seen it all today. We saw about 200 yards of offense in 120 seconds on both teams. And now we see the extra point try ran back 90-plus yards for 2 points for AIC.
And we still have 7 minutes and 56 seconds of first half football remaining.
You know, I've always thought this is the key part of the game, Tom. Bear Bryant used to rest a lot of his players so that this last portion of the second quarter, everybody would be sharp. This is really where you set the tone before you go into the locker room.
11 plays and 67 yards on that scoring drive for CW Post. Instead of 7 points, they get 6, and then they give up 2 more. So it's just a little more than a field goal on that exchange. Diminishes the impact of the touchdown, doesn't it?
It sure does. You know, you need that momentum, and now's when you want it. You can't have mistakes like that in championship football.
Black and gold, there's Mike Bonsu, author of the 90-some yard run with the for the safety on the failed extra point try for CW Post, and now the Pioneers kick it off. Well, that's a high and long kick. He has a bit of a leg. Dan Grant at the 12-yard line crosses with Peterson. Grant keeps it himself. There are some blockers there. Grant to the sideline and is taken down at the 30-yard line, but AIC had the manpower advantage over there. Somebody made a nice defensive play to keep him from going much farther. Dan Grant.
Number 2, I think, Tom,
Gabriel Frazier.
Gabriel Frazier comes down, just a little guy. You know, you get a stiff wind, you think you'd blow him away. He comes down, submarines one blocker, and takes him out. That is a huge football play.
Last time that AIC returned an extra point was Adam Williams against Springfield College back in '96, opening game of the season. They played back then for the Mayor's Cup. Galliard, went down kind of easily that time, didn't he? Ran into one of his own blockers and Kenny Irby, who was contending that blocker.
You know, there's so many defensive stars on post. Kenny sometimes gets overlooked. He's a pretty fast, speedy type player. That's great penetration. That's what they have to do. You load up that defensive line. You got to close off the pressure outside.
Irby, 5'10", a 200-pounder. No gain on the play. Second down and 10. Hebert straight back. Over the middle, it is caught by Grant at the 40-yard line. 45, 48-yard line. And a flag thrown in at the 44. Hashim Evans, the man who made the tackle on Dan Grant, another academic All-American candidate for AIC.
That was all-star versus all-star, Tom, after we find out what this flag is. That was Gabriel Frazier, number 2, providing excellent coverage. You'll see number 2, another all-district guy. Both guys are all-district. He's coming across. He has him covered. Only place you could catch the ball, 6-inch circle. That's right where it went.
5-yard incidental face mask against the defense. 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So tack on 5. And it will be first down for AIC in CW Post territory. A lot of alphabet in this game, huh?
I'll tell you. Hey, for all your parents out there that have little kids, Gabriel Frazier, 5'9", 165 pounds.
First and 10, AIC, Galliard. And they take him down after a gain of only 2 or 3 yards. There must have been some adjustments made because Galliard isn't romping the way in the second quarter that he did back when the game started. That's Kenny Irby again making the tackle number 6. I mean, he's gaining a couple of yards or so, but it was 10 and 15 at will back in the first quarter.
They're bringing heat, Tom. They're isolating the defensive backs. They're putting them all in one-on-one coverage, saying you're just going to have to stop them, and they're bringing some heat off the corners.
Second down, 8. Fake to Galliard. The throw is complete to Grant, and that's first down territory for Dan Grant down to the 37 or 8-yard line. Brian Collins looking on.
This is coached about as good as you can. You know, you're leaving the linebackers up there. It puts your defensive backs in man-on-man coverage. 47 just not able to get there in time.
First down, Yellow Jacket.
But you've got to shut the run down first, Tom. You really have no choice.
We're at John Homer Miller Field on the campus of American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts, with the Eastern Football Conference Championship game. In the first half, clock ticking down toward 6 minutes to go in the half, and the score is 19-13. AIC with the ball. This is Galliard. He gets away from some people, pulls loose to the 30-yard line. I'm not sure how he escaped from that. He did a Houdini because it looked like he was pretty well collected back there at about the line of scrimmage, Mike.
Big number 66 comes in, has the play, actually gets knocked off. You'll see him to the right of your screen, knocked off by the tackle. Tremendous stutter steps. Gabriel misses 2, and he makes a play out of nothing.
Second down and 3, gain of 7 for Galliard. Yeah, you see that there has been some kind of a change defensively for CW Post. They are better controlling Kevin Galliard. Tries to go up the middle and pushes forward for only a couple or 3 yards. Galliard, by the way, Kevin, it's spelled K-A-V-I-N. Eric Williams on the tackle for the Pioneers.
Well, Tom, I don't think there's a big mystery with what CW has to do here. They're not going to be running any zone coverages or double coverages. They're bringing the linebackers up to stop the run. It's helping them out. They're putting the defensive backs one-on-one. So they're saying to AIC, you have to execute the pass now to beat us.
Came up short of the first down by a yard, 3rd and 1. Hebert looked like he may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. The snap to Galliard. Galliard is hit, and he just kind of like a mole, except just kind of crawling along the top of the ground and squirts out for the first down, gets across the 25 down to the 23 or 24-yard line. Eric Williams, the tackle.
Number 55 in the center, right there, cuts him off, scrapes. He almost looks like he's doing the limbo, Tom. You know, sneaking under those defensive players. This is just an athlete and a half.
Dan Grant and Rick Hebert were talking about Galliard when we had the opportunity to talk with him earlier this week. They were saying there was a run he made against Pace a couple of years ago where it looked like he was tackled, but he came down on top of the tackler and spun off, put his hand down on the ground, got himself back up, and ended up going the distance for the touchdown. They said that it's very common for the referees, as they come back into the huddle, to hear the referees talking about Galliard, saying things like, boy, he's hard to bring down, isn't he?
Double, Tommy, double!
Not going to make me put that knee to the grass, he's saying.
Galliard is the tailback. To his left, and up by 3 yards is Novembre. Hebert floats one to the end zone for Novembre. Cannot haul it in. Reached out for it. It was a little bit longer than he thought that it might have been. Incomplete pass with 4:14 to go in the first half. AIC already leading 19-13.
Now, this is one of those passes, I mean, this just needs to be caught. He turns around, he gets a little misdirected. He does have to change and switch his shoulders, Tom, which is really not easy when you're running full stride.
Hard to refocus the eyes, making that turn from over the right shoulder to over the left. Hebert again to throw. There is pressure. He floats it into the end zone. Grant, touchdown! Dan Grant with the 4th touchdown of the afternoon for AIC's 3rd, excuse me.
Well, we talked about it earlier, Tom. CW's challenging them. They're bringing all their bodies up and saying, you're going to have to beat us one-on-one. And that's an example that they did exactly that. Here's the pressure, good pressure. Charlie Cook has a hand on him. Ball is floated exactly where it needs to be. And you could even argue that was a little bit of interference to begin with.
25-13. Extra point try for AIC. Good. 26-13 in the Eastern Football Championship game on your New England Sports Network. We're in the second quarter. It's AIC by 13.
The thing that gets me in the door is saying I'm going to Southern.
Classes were small enough to where you got to know the professors.
When you're serious about what you want to do, they'll head you in the right direction.
They offered a wide range of courses.
The teachers help you out a lot. They look out for you. It's a very good university.
Prepares you for whatever you're going to do when you come out.
They'll give you the confidence that you need to go out there and do what you have to do all on your own.
American International College is a school rich in tradition and a pioneer in education. AIC, founded in 1885, was one of the first colleges to provide educational opportunities for women and international students. AIC's Curtis Blake Center has been nationally recognized as a leader in the field of learning disabilities. At AIC, we have one of the lowest student-faculty ratios in the Northeast, so students get the personal attention you won't find at a larger college or university. AIC students have gone on to become leaders in government, business, law, medicine, education, and sports. In fact, 3 of our graduates participated in national championship games in 1998. AIC is the most affordable four-year private college in the region, previously recognized by Money Magazine as one of the top 100 college buys in the country. Small classes, personal attention, and a long history of providing quality education. It all adds up to affordable excellence at American International College.
Well, here you go. AIC puts another 6 on the board. This time, Hebert to Grant.
You know, you look at this pass here, that is just a beautiful pass. I had a chance to talk with Coach Brian Carroll before the game. You know, another guy that's come over here dedicated just to working with the kids, and it's been his job, Tom, to put in the passing game. He coaches the quarterbacks and the receivers, and he had to find a way to get some of this talent on the field without diminishing what a Gilliard could do. And I think he's done a great job. This has been the key to this victory because they've been able to bring a defense to shut down Gilliard. They've challenged them to complete the passes. They've said, we're going to force you to execute, and they've done it. You got to give some hats off to Coach Brian Carroll.
Dan Grant was actually recruited by Temple. And Art Wilkins had some contacts down there. He's a Pennsylvania kid. He's from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. And because of contacts at Temple, he ended up coming here to AIC. Kickoff, a low line drive to Hardaway. Brings it right up the middle. Now veers out to the left side. Look at him go. Hardaway, big play threat, bumped out of bounds, but not before he toted the ball out to the 48-yard line. It's a big return. He is a big kid. He is 6'2", 6'3", or thereabouts.
He is a big kid, and he's all-district returner. He made the all-conference, all-district team as a returner. I think we're seeing why. Some beautiful blocking, running behind the blocks, has the speed, nice little stiff arm, and not a man who lacks courage.
He is lined up, as he usually is, in the CW Post offensive set. Wide to the right side, matched on the left side by Pat Kennedy, Carneglia the fullback, and there is Ian Smart now, who is the tailback on this play. It's Smart who gets the ball, gets hit behind the line, spurts up to the 45-yard line. So he'll end up gaining 7, although he was hit originally behind the line of scrimmage. Mo Hernandez making the tackle for AIC.
You know, Big Mo, number 51, they know now they're not doing a lot of play action stuff. They're pulling their guards. They're attacking directly at him. He's blitzed the last couple of times, Tom. Got in there, just could not get to the ball.
3.5 minutes to go in the first half. AIC 3 TDs, field goal, safety. Hardaway in motion. He gets the handoff and takes it up the middle, gets whacked as he got to the 37 or 38-yard line. Sizable gain, first down, but he got pounded.
This is just pure straight-ahead football. Again, 58 to center, comes straight out, bam, takes number 51 down, opens a huge hole, and gets his ribs knocked to his backbone, but holds on to the ball.
That's Adam Theo Harris, second teamer who is playing, and they go to Ian Smart. Ian Smart across the 35, gets to the 34-yard line. There will be a gain of 3 on the play, depending on the spot, but yeah, call it 3.
You know,
Randy Hebert, brother of the QB, making the tackle.
They feel he might be the quarterback when his brother leaves. He's just such a good athlete, they had to find a place for him.
He switched. He was the backup quarterback to his brother last year, and they've got him at a linebacker this year, but when Rick leaves, he may go back to the other side of the ball. I formation, fake to Herring, rock, incomplete pass. Carneglia scooped it on the ground, off the ground on one hop. So the pass is incomplete. We look at 3rd and 7 for CW Post with 2:25 to go in the first half. Comfortable lead, you might say, at 26 to 13 for AIC, but we mention again that last year it was a different team, but this same game for the Eastern Football Conference Championship, they led 24-0 and lost 25-24.
You can't let up in championship football, Tom. Until that final whistle blows, you've got to be the guy.
Rock complete to Hardaway. Hardaway taken down at the 29-yard line. They are going to give him about the 25. If they do, that looks like first down yardage for CW Post. He was knocked back to about the 34, but they're going to spot the ball just short of the 25.
Nice play action. Number 14 draws a lot of attention. It opens Hardaway. You know, the linebacker does not scrape off. He's actually trying to tackle Ian, and it makes a beautiful opening.
Ian Smart rips it up the middle. Smart down to the 5-yard line. First and goal for CW Post as the Pioneers are in a position to put up 6 or 7 before the end of the half.
You look at this play. This is number 58, Angelo Triano, the center, coming out of the ball. Bam! Knocks 48 right out of the box. Good blocking on the offensive guard. That is what CW Post can do. They can come right at you, Tom, and they've got some of the horses to do it.
Notice Smart covering the football, by the way. AIC leading the country in turnovers. They go for the ball. There is an AIC player who is shaken up. That's Theo Harris, who's limping off the field with a little bit of help over here on the near sideline. That was Parker and Hebert making the tackle on that last play. There are 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go. The ball is now at the 6-yard line with that burst up the middle by Ian Smart for CW Post. First and goal for the Pioneers. 6 or 7 here would be huge for CW Post as we near halftime. Quarterback Rock keeps himself in trouble, spins away, goes the other way, throws to the end zone, touchdown, and a flag is thrown just as the completion was made to Carneglia.
Tom, I think if you would have taken a pulse rate right there, it would have been about 170, running for his life. Usually the time when somebody gets a little bit of a sticky finger.
Could be a man downfield on that kind of a scramble. Someone may have, well, he's going to run with it. And it is against CW Post.
You know, you look at the defense on that last play that AIC is in. You know, this is not your goal line defense. This is where you run right up the middle. That play actually would have been maybe a touchdown. He's scrambling for his life. Lots of bad things can happen when you scramble like that, Tom. You want to keep it basic.
And that was the call, illegal receiver downfield. The touchdown goes away. The ball is at the 10-yard line. First and goal from the 10, and 1 minute and 38 seconds to go. Rock scrambled and scrambled, found Carneglia, but one of the blockers who was not an eligible receiver moved down the field, penalty. Rock looks again, throws to Ian Smart. Has a man there as a potential tackler, gets away from him, gets to the 5-yard line and inside. 1 minute and 27 seconds, the tackle by Randy Hebert for AIC.
You know, they're trying to shake it up a little bit, do a little change of direction. Nice play action, nice play action. Gets the ball. Thank goodness, that's great presence of mind. That's why they like Ian. He's going to be a little shifty. He's going to slash and cut.
1 minute 6 seconds in the half. Second and goal from just inside the 5 for the Pioneers. This is Carneglia, and Carneglia with the handoff to the 3-yard line. It was Carneglia who caught the touchdown pass that wasn't just moments ago. It was taken away as a result of the penalty, and there is a timeout for CW Post. Our score is 26-13 in the Eastern Football Conference Championship game. CW Post trails, but they are knocking on the door.
Winter is back on New England Sports Network. Deep snow, big mountains, cool, fresh air. Hi, I'm Dan Egan, and on Monday, December 20th, we kick off the...
Don't miss the best that boxing has to offer on Fight Time on Fox, Sunday at 1.
Clark still talking on the far sideline with the CW Post coaching staff on what to do with his last 53 seconds. He has his ball club inside the AIC 5-yard line. It's at the 4. It's 3rd and goal. They scored a touchdown, but it was taken away. Ineligible receiver downfield on the pass to Carneglia. AIC fans on this side making some noise on 3rd and goal from the 4. Ian Smart to the 2 or 3 yard line. Can't get more than that. A lot of black jerseys pound him down at the 2-yard line with 44 seconds to go, and that will stop the clock on a timeout for CW Post.
Good defense, good up the field pursuit. You'll see they're trying to run behind big number 75. Little cutback, no place to go. You look at the end zone, this is what you live for on defense. Big number 51 right there. He has to stay on his feet. He has to be in the game. 28 comes, scrapes across. That's good, heady football.
Not that anyone viewing is not aware of this, but one team or the other is going to go off of the field with a huge momentum swing at this point. If CW Post can score, add the extra point, they're within a touchdown. Much better feeling going into the break down by 6, let's say, as opposed to if they are stopped here and they go in still down by 2 touchdowns. Look at the AIC side of the field, Art Wilkins, and number 9 is Bob Parker.
See, Tom, I would take the field goal right here. You know, you're in the second half.
Just get something.
If they do not score here, that is a backbreaker. Take your 3 points, go in with a score. Hey, guys, let's go out and do something, but go in on a positive.
Well, it's 4th down and goal from the 1-yard line. There is not a place kicker in the football game. Herring goes out to the left. Now AIC will call for a timeout. This is basketball stuff we're seeing here. See who they put on the field, and then we'll take another timeout. Now will CW Post change what they were going to do?
Well, you know, there's all
back-to-back timeouts.
All the head games that go on right here, championship caliber and level football. Right now, you just want to run that ball basically straight ahead, Tom. You've got 2 options down here. You've got the little fade pass to a corner of the end zone, probably your number 1 scoring opportunity, or do what brought you. I mean, the horse that brought CW here was a 1-2 attack out of the backfield straight ahead. That's really your 2 choices.
Tony Balkin is the place kicker for CW Post, and he is nowhere involved in any of these conversations. He's way back at the 50-yard line.
He's hiding.
I don't think so, but he just isn't in the planning. 44 seconds left in the half, but this one play very big for CW Post. 4th and goal from the 1. Hardaway. Touchdown.
Oh, very well done. Well, that's why I'm up in the booth, Tom.
From the flanker spot, way out to the right side. Hardaway streaking from right to left. The snap of the ball, the quick handoff to Hardaway, who has a head of steam going, and he just sprinted into the end zone.
That is a very well done play. You know, the center gets the quarterback just stays out of his way. Give it to the returner and see what he can do.
That makes it 26-19. They'll try an extra point. The snap, the kick is good. So with 40 seconds left in the first half, we have a 26-20 football game, and CW Post has pulled within a touchdown.
It's a game and a half, Tom. There's no courage lacking on either side of these sidelines. I think I'm getting too old. I want the same thing now.
Yeah, you're talking Barry Goldwater football here.
I'll tell you, get the 3 points, you know, 3 runs. But this is a game, and you got to have courage, and hats off to CW. That was a smart football play.
Well, we're already running out of space on the scorecard, and we haven't finished the first half yet. CW Post scored first 13:55 to go. John Carneglia, that particular drive was 10 plays and 52 yards, and it was Hardaway who finished it with the 1-yard touchdown run. But then AIC got 2 touchdowns from Kevin Galliard in the first quarter and led 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. Then a 22-yard field goal by Brian Frederick for AIC, and it was 17-7. Carneglia with a touchdown reception made it 17-13, but on the extra point try, AIC picked up a loose ball and took it back for a safety, so it was 17-13. That was a 97-yard run by Mike Bonsu, made it 19-13. A pass for Hebert to Grant made it 26-13, and this by Hardaway makes it 26-20, and on the kickoff, AIC will settle with just covering the ball at the 23-yard line with 37 seconds left to play in the first half.
Well, Tom, what do you think? We got 37 seconds left. You've got some nice running backs. You've got some nice receivers. You're in your own 30. What do you do?
What do I do? I am probably satisfied to leave with a 6-point lead at halftime. What does Art Wilkins do? We'll find out.
We'll find out.
When you have weapons like that, I mean, it's hard not to put them to use. Grant and Hebert and Galliard. Galliard is at the tailback. You have Grant here on the near side. Sean Allen over on the right side. Yeah, they'll try it. Hebert fakes, throws long, and it is incomplete. Out at the 45-yard line. That pass for AIC was intended for Sean Allen.
Tremendous coverage there. You know, now they can afford to put a couple of more guys back. They're not simply in man-on-man coverage. The ball's up, nearly picked. You know, you've got a little bounce and bobble. A split second more, and that might have been able to be picked off.
J.P. Rosselli on the coverage for CW Post. 31 seconds to play in the half. Now Galliard. Hit. Flag thrown. Still running with the football. Got to the 27-yard line. Gave up a little bit of ground back to the 26. He is extremely elusive. Very difficult to bring down. Irby and Rennie with a tackle for the Pioneers.
Rich Ricketts, you know, 5 sacks, holding penalty, probably on Rich. I'll tell you, we needed someone to help Charlie Cook out here, and it looks like Rich is stepping up to do the job. Splits the double team, penetrates in that backfield, actually stopped Gilliard from moving and allowed his buddies to come up and get him on the ground.
Third down.
You'll see number 56 here. He's getting the penetration that's forcing the play to go back inside. That is a big bonus and a big find for a championship game.
Galliard, it's like that little bunny. He just keeps going and going and going. 12 seconds, 11, 10, clock running as AIC comes out of the huddle. Almost certainly will be the last play of the half. 4 seconds, 3. Hebert still looking around, may not even get it off. 1 second, and that's the end of the first half of play. With the score, AIC's Yellow Jackets 26, CW Post 20 in the Eastern Football Conference Championship game at John Homer Miller Field in Springfield, Massachusetts. We will be back with halftime and then with the second half of our championship game on Nesson after this.
Winter is back on New England Sports Network. Deep snow, big mountains, cool, fresh air. Hi, I'm Dan Egan, and on Monday, December 20th, we kick off the new season in Europe. We head to St. Anton in Austria, the vast mountains of Verbier, Switzerland. Take a trip down the Vallée Blanche in Chamonix, France. Plus, discover the mysteries of the Italian Alps. Join me, Dan Egan, for Snow Castles, a front row ski special, Monday, December 20th at 6:30.
Prepping for the start of the second half. That's CW Post. And the quarterback, Pat Rock, he will be on the sideline for a while because they'll be kicking off to AIC to start the second half. AIC will be running from our right to our left. Kevin Galliard, who had a 99-yard first half. And he is getting closer and closer to breaking the all-time record. Divisions 1, 2, or 3, a record currently held by Barry Sanders.
You know, you mentioned that name on a day like today, and this is the type of game we have with that caliber of people. This is fantastic.
Knuckleball dives into the ground, and it's taken by Peterson at the 15-yard line. Peterson is taken out of bounds after a 20-yard return at the 34-35-yard line for AIC. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. When you look on the field, it looks like it's Georgia Tech and the Green Bay Packers, doesn't it?
It does, and some of the guys are playing that way today. You know, before the game, AIC had mentioned we've come back in the second half and we've had poor performances. They've saved some of their offensive plays for this second half. They've not shown them. I expect to see some things we haven't seen this first half.
Peterson wide out to the right side. I formation behind Rick Hebert. Galliard, of course, is the tailback, takes the pitch. Finds a little room as he slices across the 35 to the 37 or 8 yard line. Not the gaping holes that he was seeing early in the ball game, though. He's having to find smaller spaces to run to than he did early on.
Largely due to Rich Ricketts, number 56 on CW Post. He's been splitting double teams, getting in the backfield, causing a lot of problems. And they've switched to man-on-man coverage, Tom. They're bringing people up at the point of attack.
The gain was 3. That puts him over 100 for the day. And that's Mike Novembre out to very close to a first down. Irby and Ricketts making the tackle for the Pioneers.
Big number 66 here on CW Post. Can't believe he didn't have him. You know, sandwiched between Muriello, number 55, number 66, 300 pounds of people. And he just squirts right through them, Tom.
Looks like they're just about a half a yard short. They're looking it over. They will bring out the chains and see whether this is a first down. From here, it looks close, but which is a half a yard for the first down. 29-26 is our score.
This is where it gets nasty. You know, we'll see a low angle shot here coming from the side. That is just great push. Great job on both sides. You know, the old rule of thumb, Tom, is if your offensive line cannot get you 6 inches, then they need to be taken out behind the house and beaten. That is a good football play.
That's rather harsh, Mike. I have to say.
I know I do.
Well, they will measure again, and I thought maybe I was a little premature in giving them that first down, but he got there. Mid-60s. This is the 20th of November, isn't it?
You know, you're looking at a first down. The half is just starting. You want to try to establish a little bit of a running game yet, Tom.
Grab. Big Mike Bland lined up as the fullback in front of Galliard. Fumble on the snap from center. Hebert is only able to pick it up, and he goes down, maybe just to the line of scrimmage. He lost anything about a half a yard. It looks like they're going to say he lost half or a yard back to the 44-yard line. Line of scrimmage had been the 43, so 2nd and 11 for AIC on the fumbled snap. An official's timeout.
Big Matt LaPointe thought he had a free dinner there. You know, saw that ball on the ground. Good presence of mind. No turnovers on your first drive.
13 minutes, 14 seconds to play in the third quarter. AIC with the ball in a 6-point lead, and Hebert wants to throw. For Novembre, got him at the 23 and out of bounds at the 21-yard line. First down, Yellow Jackets.
You know, earlier, Tom, I was talking about some of the things that they're going to come out with in the second half they didn't show. Well, I guess this is what they're speaking of, a nice passing attack. Well-executed throw, perfect, wide open coverage.
I'm remembering, I think it was Sam Jones or KC Jones who used to shout at Wilt Chamberlain trying to come out and stop one of Sam Jones's jump shot too late. And Charlie Cook was just a hair too late and getting to Rick Hebert as he released the ball. Pitch to Galliard. Dances. Wrapped up. Gets across the 20-yard line, though, to the 18 or 19. Maybe the 17, as a matter of fact, as he fell forward. So that's going to be a gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
You know, the defense here has to make that big stop, Tom. They start getting a little discouraged early on in the third quarter if the offense does not put some points on the board. But you can count on these guys to give a top effort.
Second and 8. Hebert straight back. Floats one for Grant and has another one. He is taken out of bounds at the 1-yard line. That looked like an exact replay of the touchdown that Grant scored back in the first half. Eric Williams making the tackle for CW Post.
Well, I think this is the new look they spoke about. We almost look like we're looking at the Miami Dolphins with Dan Marino passing their way down the field. Again, well executed, wide open.
Dan Grant caught a TD pass from Hebert back in the first half. This one gets them to the 1-yard line, first and goal. Big people in front of Kevin Galliard. Pitch to Galliard. And Galliard into the end zone, never did go down. He may have been touched, but if he was, it was oh so very lightly, and the lead for AIC goes to 32-0. That is the third touchdown of the afternoon for Kevin Galliard.
You know, we look at this from behind. Galliard just lets everybody overrun him, comes out to the side, cuts right back, lets pursuit fly past him into the touchdown, barely gets bumped.
33rd touchdown of the year for Kevin Galliard. 12 minutes and 13 seconds left to go. And now we get ready for the extra point. Mike Novembre comes back into the ball game for AIC, and they're going to be going for 2 here. With Sean Allen out to the right side, Dan Grant to the left, Novembre in at the slot on the left side, and Galliard is the tailback. As the Yellow Jackets try for 2. Hebert, quick throw over the top, and it's complete to Eric Gendreau, the tight end. Just put the big guy across the line, put the ball up in the air, and he went up to get it. Coach Brian Collins looking on the other side. It's a 14-point ball game.
There we see a little tight end dump over the middle. The whole drive, a nice, well-executed passing drive, gets way up in the air. This is going to be a different look to try to defend the second half.
Eric Gendreau is a big fella, 6'3" and 260, and our score is AIC 34, CW Post 20, as AIC scores on their first drive of the second half. We'll be back right after this.
Trinity College. College. City. World. You're a business traveler. You're on the... Oops, that's for later. You're on the road a lot. Your needs are relatively simple. Even I'd use that. You'd like a warm, comfortable bed. A separate office area with a desk. 2 phone lines. I'd like a phone there. A mini kitchen with wet bar, refrigerator, and coffee maker. You're getting the picture. And you'd like a free, bountiful breakfast buffet to keep you going all day. You don't expect much. You just expect AmeriSuites Hotels. They take care of you, so you can take care of business.
Yeah, so our Ranger has a 4-door extended cab and a huge trunk with a locking top.
It's a great pickup.
We need a great promotion. What about rent a Ranger for the day, be a Ranger for the day?
Yeah. Well, hello, little fella. Yeah.
I don't want to be a Ranger.
Let's just rent the Ranger for the price of our economy car.
I like that.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think let's do that.
New score, 34-20, AIC. Touchdown by Galliard, and the 2-point conversion on the pass from Hebert to Jandro. Galliard now has 3 touchdowns in this game. He had 2, and these two teams played back on, what was the date? September the 11th. And the kickoff. This is Hardaway coming to the near side with blockers in front, taken down at the 28-29 yard line, and he was kind of rambling there before he was taken down at the 28. 1st and 10, CW post.
A lot of courage in Eddie Hardaway. 6 foot, 200 pounds. Not, you know, a big, strong guy, but tremendous athlete. Good balance, running straight ahead, Tom. There's not a hesitation in his step. He is going right in the teeth of the enemy.
Pioneers could use some points on this drive. This is Carneglia, bull-like fullback to the 35-yard line, and a gain of 6. They have been hanging on, and that's kind of the idea, isn't it? Stay in the game. They stay close enough to do something late.
Their offense is straight at you, a 1-2 punch in the rushing, and they've got to stick with it.
Hardaway, wide near side. That's Kennedy out to the left. Rock with the handoff for Herring. Herring turns the corner, turns upfield. Banged down at the 46-yard line. 1st down, CW post, and a gain of 10 yards on the play. Herring is over 100 yards for the day himself. Bob Parker and Keith Thompson making the tackle for AIC.
Herring's gotten a lot of these runs. You see big number 75. He's been pulling out, doing the lead blocking, and that's taking up the linebacker and allowing him to get outside.
Keith Thompson, number 48 for AIC. What do you bet they all call him Pops? 28 years old, a Marine, former Marine. Rock, time to throw for a moment, no longer, keeps it himself and manages to pick up about 5 yards as he gets into AIC territory to the 49-yard line, and 2nd and 5 will be upcoming here for the Pioneers. Thompson again on a tackle along with Carl Robinson for the Yellow Jackets.
Right up again, you know, nice play action, little indecision there, good coverage on behalf of AIC, and he has to eat that ball and get what he can.
2nd and 5, Pioneers, I formation. Carneglia, the fullback. Herring, the tailback. Herring, the handoff. Hit at the line and gets a yard to the 48-yard line. Thompson again, and Steve Baptiste, team co-captain.
You know, you look at big number 96, defensive tackle for AIC. You know, they're starting to get the idea of where they're going to go with that ball, and they're starting to close it in and close it down.
3rd and 4 for the Pioneers. Kennedy this time to the near side, and Hardaway goes to the far side of the field. In motion comes Herring, and Rock, short drop, throws, incomplete. The pass was intended out on the left side for Matt Galasso, covered by Bob Parker. And 4th and 4 for CW Post. The punting team comes on. The punter is a large chap, Joe Gordon.
They've had some difficulty here, Tom. They've got to get a nice clean snap.
That one's not bad. Wobbly kick that bounces at the AIC 28 and rolls dead at the 25-yard line, 75 yards away for the Yellow Jackets. 9 minutes and 43 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. AIC, a team that goes without a huddle. As you probably noticed, they do it with hand signals, and we talked about it earlier this week with Art Wilkins, the head coach of the Yellow Jackets. Here's what he said.
Actually, it is a fascinating story. I had a running back at South Carolina by the name of Harold Green, who became a first-round draft pick with the Cincinnati Bengals during their Super Bowl years. And they told me the secrets of their no-huddle offense. I thought it was very suitable for what we did, but we never did install it until my first year here. Very simply, this whole thing started by telling the quarterback the formation. They would line up on the ball. I would watch how the defense aligned. And if it was a pass play, I would call into the receiver what the first read was and the second read was, just so everything was very simple. Where we've advanced to now is that we call a formation and essentially give Rick a body to place.
And Rick Hebert finds Galliard open over the middle for a gain out to the 34-yard line. It helps, of course, when you have an academic All-American who is your quarterback and making those calls as he comes up to the line of scrimmage. Tackled there by Evans and Bayron for CW Post.
You know, it certainly does, Tom. We saw the Buffalo Bills with Kelly in that Kelly gun no huddle, and when he left, they could not find another guy that could take that over. It takes a special caliber of quarterback to grasp the system.
Starting this series, Galliard had 106 yards rushing. He got 1 yard on his first carry. This is November. Looked like he might be able to pull away from a tackler, but they held him up long enough that he got help and knocked him down, but it'll be a 1st and 10 for AIC. So Galliard now with 107 rushing yards for the day. And 3 touchdowns, just a ho-hum kind of an afternoon for the kid from Albany, New York.
What a great story, you know. Last break, we had a chance to talk about some of the things that he's done and people he's met. Said he's one of the most humble people that you'll ever meet, and just a nice, great kid.
Very well-spoken, kind of quiet, as you say. Hebert faking the handoff and throws to Dan Grant. Stutter steps out of bounds after he got necessary yardage for the first down. And that's going to be spotted at the AIC 48-yard line. Nice Hebert to Grant connection. There have been, lots of those over the course of the 4 years that they've played together.
And I think we're seeing what AIC has kept under wraps to come out with a much more emphasized passing game, Tom, in this second half.
It's been the best of the 4 years that Grant has played here. He's missed only 1 game in 4 seasons. It's his 3rd EFC title game. Galliard, there he goes. But for the jersey, he still took the ball down inside the 20-yard line, carried a man with him who was pulling on the jersey. It was stretching, but it wouldn't let go, and Eric Williams hung on, slowed him down, and kept him from another 6 points in his 4th touchdown.
Just so smooth, Tom. You can't realize just how fast he is actually moving. It looks like everybody else is in slow motion. He is just a graceful, smooth competitor on his feet. Great balance.
1st and 10 from the CW Post 19-yard line. Galliard looking for some place to go and maybe gets a couple of yards out of it. That was the first gain of any significance, really, for Galliard, though, since way back early in the ball game. Evans and Ricketts on the tackle this time on Kevin Galliard, who now is well over 100 yards for the day.
Well, this has been a classic boxing match. You know, when they think you're going to jab, you know, you come with from downtown. When they think you're going to come downtown, you jab. They have mixed up the pass and run so effectively. CW's having a hard time getting the fix of just what is it they're going to be doing.
I formation behind Hebert on 2nd down and 9. Fakes to Galliard, immediately in trouble. Down he goes at the 22-yard line. Hebert sacked. A lot of gold and white closing on him quickly. Rich Ricketts was first there, number 56.
Well, that's number 6 now for the sacks for Rich Ricketts. You know, one of the guys that has anchored that defensive line. Not fooling me now. He's had about 4 pressures this game, Tom. And now he's finally got to the dinner table.
6:06, clock's running here at John Homer Miller Field, Springfield, Massachusetts. EFC championship game. AIC and CW Post. Hebert scrambling again and taken down again. Back-to-back sacks. Same guy. Ricketts again at the 28-yard line.
Rich Ricketts is playing with a little fire now. 2 sacks in a row. It's hard enough to get 1 sack in a game, let alone 2 in a row. Beating big number 79. Nice cut of the corner. Wraps him up, brings him down. Big, big sack.
Well, this is awfully important, too, for CW Post hopes of winning the football game. To be back 14 points is doable. So is 20 or 21, I suppose, but less likely. So here is 4th down and 19. And Hebert throws over the middle. It's complete to November, but does not get the first down. So the ball will go over to CW Post at their own 20-yard line.
You know, Tom, a lot of teams think, geez, why are they going it on 4th down? Well, you're already in the opponent's red zone almost. A good pass play to get 10 yards is almost a safe punt, and you never know when you're going to get that first and break it for a score.
Irby and Evans on that tackle for CW Post. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Ian Smart in motion. Handoff straight ahead, Herring, and Herring takes people with him. He is strong. Out to the 29-yard line.
Well, they play that wide tackle type defense, Tom. The tackles are really spread out. It leaves you the linebacker 5 yards off the ball. And that's their big center, Angelo Triano. He is an all-district player as well, and you're going to give me 5 yards? Well, I'm going to take it.
Thompson on that tackle. Coach Wilkins says he is an ex-Marine who plays like one. That's Smart in motion. They give him the ball, and he has room and a blocker. Smart to the 45-yard line. That's the same play that got him a touchdown at the other end, except going from right to left. This one came left to right, and Smart, with a 15-yard gain, has the ball out to the 45-yard line for CW Post.
That's the 1-2 punch we're talking about. You know, you've got Herring coming out, pound, 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 and Ian takes it, and he has flash.
You have Hardaway and Smart and Kennedy. They have some big play kinds of guys. 1st and 10. That's Smart moving left to right, same play. Not quite as effective this time, but they will get 3, possibly 4 yards out of it. This one is going to come right at you. Ian Smart.
Number 25 there saying, hey, you may fool me once, but not again. Randy Hebert, of course, the brother of AIC's quarterback, says, not twice you don't.
Dave Ward at number 99 is the fellow in the black jersey you see involved in that tackle as well. Kennedy left, Hardaway left, Carneglia 33, and Smart 14 in the backfield. Smart bumped down, fumble, ball is picked up. They're going to say he was down. They're going to say that he was down at the 45-yard line. Smart took a big whack, and he is ailing, still on the ground at the 44-yard line.
Well, let's see that again.
Mo Hernandez got him.
Big Mo coming up. He's been blitzing a lot today. Quick read, bam.
Ooh, that left knee.
Picks that up. That's that does look like that's going to be a serious injury. You know, it's tough, Tom. You're running full speed. You don't really see what's happening.
Yeah, it looked like that left leg was planted and locked, and while they attend to Ian Smart at the 45-yard line, we'll get a break at this point with 3 minutes and 28 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. AIC leading CW Post. It's 34-20.
Winter is back on New England Sports Network. Deep snow, big mountains, cool, fresh air. Hi, I'm Dan Egan, and on Monday, December 20th, we kick off the new season in Europe. We head to St. Anton in Austria, the vast mountains of Verbier, Switzerland, take a trip down the Vallée Blanche in Chamonix, France, plus discover the mysteries of the Italian Alps. Join me, Dan Egan, for Snow Castles, a front row ski special, Monday, December 20th at 6:30.
Winning the Stanley Cup gave the Dallas Stars the ultimate championship feeling, but it was a tough fight. The Stars' Mike Modano shared this victory with kids who were fighting battles of their own.
Every game for us was a challenge. For these kids, every day is a challenge. If you put your heart and soul into it, you can do anything.
Through Hockey Fights Cancer, NHL players bring this winning spirit to kids across North America.
Champion kids, join the fight because we're in it to win.
Smart is up. He is in some pain, but he walked off the field by himself. Yes, limping. Well, I was worried. there for a minute. But he looks like he's going to be all right. Let's look at Division II national standings, and if you could eliminate Pennsylvania from the from the factor, then you would have AIC as the #1 team in the country. Those 4 schools ahead of them are all Pennsylvania schools.
6 of the top 10 are PA schools.
Rock rolls left to throw, has a man complete into AIC territory at the AIC 47-yard line, 2 yards short of a first down. DeGrigley makes the tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
You know, number 87, you'll see here the tight end, Matt Galasso. Not really a big guy. Looks and plays a little bigger than he is. He's 6'2", 215. But they've not used him much, and I know before the game they wanted to try to get the tight end involved and maybe use him for their conversion guy, Tom.
They were short of a first down by a yard. This is 4th and 1. And Joe Gordon is out to do the punting, but now he comes up tight. And they will go for it. Long count. They would love for AIC to come offside. AIC is not accommodating. And that's time. And they'll take the 5-yard penalty.
You know, you've got to sell that play, Tom. You can't come up. You've got to really look like you're coming off the ball. You certainly don't want to stand there like statues and say, hey, guys, you know, really believe that we're going to fire off here.
The penalty, of course, is delay of the game. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. AIC has a 14-point lead. They've been in this EFC Conference Championship game now for the 3rd consecutive year, have yet to win it. Gordon, good snap, waited just a moment, puts it high. It is not a long kick. AIC gets out of the way. It will be downed at the AIC 27-yard line, and the Yellow Jackets will start this drive from there.
You know, coming in, Tom, I saw a lot of the AIC folks, and they had brought up that the last 3 times they were on this and they lost the game. And they said they had some large gentlemen waiting for us afterwards if in fact they came away not the victor.
Doug Monson, the sports information director, and Bob Burke, the athletic director, and Art Wilkins, the head coach, have all been extremely cordial. They've been very nice to us. But it is true, AIC in 4 games, now 5 in the last 3 years on Nesson, they are winless. Right now, they are up 2 touchdowns. This is Novembre around the left side, tries and cannot get away from one last tackler. That would be J.P. Rosselli, or Novembre could have still been running.
This is just a tough runner. You know, not tremendous speed or moves. Comes up the middle, nothing happening, cuts way outside. You know, he's not going to go down easy. Nice straight arm. 21 hangs on to stop a long run.
1st and 10, AIC already leading by 2 touchdowns. Could come very close to nailing it down if they could put some more points up here. Pitch to Galliard. Galliard trying to find some room to run. There's not much. He gets 3.
2 of the key guys for CW Post really have been Rich Ricketts and Charlie Cook. You know, they're not running at Charlie anymore. They feel that there's not a lot going on there. And Rich Ricketts is stuffing the other side. They're playing hard, Tom.
Williams, Bayron, and Williams. That's Eric, Julius, and Isaiah involved in the tackle for the Pioneers. 1:34 to go, 3rd quarter. AIC by 14. Hebert scrambling, throws long. It is incomplete. Coverage was fine on Dan Grant downfield. Claudio Pesci. Flag is down as well.
Holding AIC.
You know, sometimes you have that protection. It just lasts so long, Tom. People get a little stuck. Their hand gets a little stuck to that cloth.
There was pressure, and Hebert had to step up in the pocket. Look at the AIC side of the field. And our referee.
Holding. Offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. 2nd down.
You know, the offensive linemen are dreading that they do not call the number out. We see a big number 96 out there, and there we are, Ricky Ricketts. You know, Rich Ricketts been putting pressure all day long. big number 79 reached out and grabbed that jersey, pulled him, and the play comes back.
Dan Grant, the intended receiver for AIC. And again, it was Claudio Pesci who was back and defending and just couldn't reach the ball for the INT. 2nd and 17. Minute 24 to go, third quarter. Novembre is the tailback. Hebert cocks the arm once, now throws for Galliard. Down there, has it. Galliard on his way for possibly his 4th, yes, touchdown of the day. And AIC goes to a 3-touchdown lead.
Oh, my goodness. Is there anything he can't do? Does he have an S on his chest, Tom?
He hasn't played middle linebacker. And he has not kicked an extra point or a field goal.
You know, they talked about getting Galliard in 4 different positions in practice this week. Have him play lots of different areas so people could not key on him. He's out as a wide receiver at the moment, blistering down the field. You're not going to keep up with Galliard at all.
That was J.P. Rosselli who was doing his best. But the lead now is 40-20. And the extra point try for AIC. Snap, kick, good. 41-20. AIC, when they played CW Post earlier in the season, won it by 34, and their lead now stands at 21 with a minute 15 to go in the third quarter. The Eastern Football Conference Championship game on Nesson, and we'll be back in Springfield, Mass. at John Homer Miller Field after this.
It's about figuring out what I want to do with my life.
It's about exploring my options.
And pursuing my dreams.
It's about setting goals.
And making decisions.
It's about making friends.
And making connections.
It's about loving where I am.
And where I'm going.
It's my college education.
It's CW Post.
It's CW Post.
It's CW Post.
The choice is clear. CW Post, Long Island University.
American International College is a school rich in tradition, committed to academic excellence. With 16 varsity sports for men and women, AIC is one of the most successful Division II schools in the region, winning numerous conference championships and reaching the NCAA championships in several sports. Many of our athletes are Dean's List students, and a number have been named academic All-Americans. Small classes, personal attention, and a long history of providing quality education. It all adds up to affordable excellence at American International College.
Some people say that a university gets you ready to go out into the real world. At the University of Massachusetts Lowell, you won't have to wait because you'll be learning in the real world. We will challenge you in ways you never dreamed of. You will have the confidence to lead the efforts to preserve our environment, develop the next wave of technology, improve education and healthcare, and strengthen our economy. All advances that will help to make a better life for you and your family. The University of Massachusetts Lowell, offering a real-world advantage.
41-20 now. The AIC side of the field, and the chap nearest to you has scored 4 touchdowns this afternoon. The most recent, that 67-yard reception. Kevin Galliard from Albany High School in Albany, New York, who was headed for Maryland. He said, Coach Wilkins said that when he came here as the head coach at AIC, the first film that he looked at was of Kevin Galliard. Liked what he saw a whole lot, but then it came out that he was going to be going to Maryland. There turned out to be a problem with some credits that didn't transfer from one high school to another, from school in D.C. to Albany, and so he couldn't go to Maryland. And in September, I think he said it was, or maybe it was August, Kevin Galliard called and said, can I come to your place?
Oh,
it worked out pretty well, didn't it?
That's a coach's dream in August, Christmas in August. And to have a classy guy, you know, a guy that is a credit to the school and someone you don't have to worry about off the field, that just makes it all the more special to see somebody get this many honors, yards, records, awards.
You watch that reception. I wonder if would he be considered as potentially a wide receiver at the NFL level?
Probably not.
A weird kickoff that goes out of bounds off a CW Post player.
You know, at the NFL, Tom, they look for players. A lot of times you need the numbers. You know, you need the 4.3 40. You need the 42-inch vertical jump at the combines. But where you get a Gilliard is this guy is a winner. You know, he would go to a coach like you know, the old Vince Lombardi's, the guys who want to win a football game, and they'd make him a third down back.
Well, it's a long way back now for CW Post. Late third quarter. They had been within a touchdown at the half, but now it's a 21-point game to Galasso, the tight end, who is hit immediately, swarmed. He refuses to go down. Now finally he does, after battling and battling and battling, and yet there will be no gain on the play. That was just, I am not going to go down.
No lack of courage on CW here. Big number 87. Comes out, he gets that ball running a little high. Tremendous hit right there, but he's not giving an inch or letting these players think there's an ounce of quit in him.
These are some tough New York City area kids for CW Post. Most of them from no more than 20, 30 miles from the school on Long Island. Rock aims long, Hardaway can't get it.
That's
They're looking for
very
offensive
questionable
pass interference. And it did appear that he may have done a laying on of hands on the defensive back, Gershon Shirillian.
And I don't think he was sick. I don't think he was trying to heal that young man.
That's right. You were going to be a priest at that time, weren't you?
You know, you cannot interfere with the defender, and you cannot push him. That's kind of a gimme, I think, Tom, for the earlier call in the first half.
Can't slip those biblical references past you, can I? Wow. 270 of the 272, Galliard. Rock, well, I wanted to throw there. Come back this way. How about him? Oops, intercepted. Nope. It comes incomplete. And Kennedy, whoa!
Oh, my goodness!
They give the ball to AIC. It looked like an interception. Then it appeared that Kennedy had broken it up. But it's going to be AIC's ball.
You know, Tom, I think that's fumbled out of bounds, and it stays with the people that had possession earlier.
This is the call.
This is just, you know, one of the things Rock does not do often, but you saw this one coming, not enough speed on it. Had possession long enough, fumbled out of bounds, stays with the one in possession.
Mike Bonsu is the man who picked up that snap on the extra point that went awry for CW Post and took it back all the way. Fumbled out of bounds, AIC's ball. 12 seconds left of the third quarter. Their lead is already 21. How many more can Galliard get? Nothing there. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Moriello and LaPointe. Vinny and Matt. That's the end of the third quarter with AIC leading CW Post 41-20. Eastern Football Conference Championship game in Springfield, Mass. Fourth quarter, up in a moment.
You're a business traveler. You're on the, that's for later. You're on the road a lot. Your needs are relatively simple. Even I'd use that. You'd like a warm, comfortable bed, a separate office area with a desk, 2 phone lines. I'd like a phone there. A mini kitchen with wet bar, refrigerator, and coffee maker. You're getting the picture. And you'd like a free, bountiful breakfast buffet to keep you going all day. You don't expect much. You just expect AmeriSuites Hotels. They take care of you, so you can take care of business.
There's the man, Kevin Galliard, in last year's EFC title game. Look at the helmet. He's been hit a few times, right? Rushed 38 times for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns, 32 and 47-yard runs. And he has only 4 touchdowns today. Wow. 6,595 yards. What's that, about 5 miles? Hebert. Long, Grant, catch, complete. If he stayed in bounds, and he did, what a catch by Dan Grant. Of this superstar, that may be an exaggeration, trio, Dan Grant is probably the least mentioned behind Galliard and Hebert, but what a grab that was down to the CW Post 30-yard line.
You know, again, they talked about changing it up in the second half. They were going to come out, do something different, did not want to have close games, but boy, they have. They look like Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs.
Hebert with a long count, just underway, fourth quarter. Galliard got hit at the line, found a little bit of room to squirm through for a couple of yards as he takes it to the 27-yard line, and there it will be second down, 7 or 8, depending on the spot. Vinny Moriello and Marcos Diaz with the tackle for the Pioneers.
You know, we haven't heard much from Big Charlie Cook lately. These are the times where you still can make an impact, Tom. You can come out and do something to change the tone of a game.
Second and 8. Bland is the fullback. They hand it to Galliard, and Galliard slices to the 24-yard line. And that'll be a gain of another 4 yards. Matt LaPointe, Rich Rennie making the tackle on him this time.
Watch number 66, Big Matt LaPointe right here. He's not quitting. He's coming up, and wham, he's still playing as if it's the first quarter, even trying to slap that ball loose to cause a fumble.
Well, that's CW Post needs about 3 of those, and to turn them into touchdowns. 41-20, 3rd and 4. Galliard with a few more yards to the 21-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3.
Again, big Matt LaPointe again coming through the offensive line, making him cut a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
Bayron and Ricketts make the tackle. 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. The last 3 carries for Galliard. It's 4th down and 2 at this point for AIC.
Matt LaPointe, Tom, 5'11", 285. He's not going to be in any man's slim shop.
Galliard needs 21 yards to tie Barry Sanders' all-time record in college football. Well, he may need more than that now, because that's a loss of a couple of yards on that pitch. And the ball will go back to CW Post. Marcos Diaz and Rich Ricketts with the tackle for the Pioneers.
Well, you know, you wonder, what do you do as CW Post? Tom, this is it. This is the end of the year. See you later. Pull out everything you have in that bucket.
Ball has to be going in the air. For CW Post, of course, the problem is that's not what they do best. But they do have an Ian Smart, if he can get back in the lineup, and we'll have to check that. And Hardaway, and they give it here for Herring. Herring jukes, gets across the 30 to the 31 or 32-yard line, short of a first down, yet it's a gain of 8 yards. Randy Hebert finally making the tackle for AIC, number 25.
Little steer wrestling going on here. Nice run by Herring. You know, fake a little bit inside, break it back outside. Boom, there you go. All he needed was the chaps and a little leather, Tom.
Herring, straight ahead, first down, comes across the 35-yard line. That was just our bodies against your bodies, and see who can push who the farthest, and enough for a first down. Just across the 35-yard line. 12 minutes, 17 seconds as the clock's running. Hernandez and Hebert and William McLeod with that stop for the Yellow Jackets. Rock. And this again is Herring, spelled H-A-E-R-I-N-G, by the way.
Hello.
But sounding like the fish. Short yardage to the 37-yard line, a gain of 2.
That's going to hurt in the morning, Tom.
Baptiste and Werda make the tackle for the Yellow Jackets. Second down now and 8 for CW Post.
We'll see the replay right here. Great form tackle, number 99. That's like 2 G-forces changing directions that quickly.
Rock for Hardaway, makes the catch, but is hit immediately and taken back to where this whole series began. Forward progress will give him to the 42-yard line. So it'll be a short gain. It's going to leave them 3rd and 3.
You know, Tom, these are the types of situations where it was so much fun having Doug Flutie as your quarterback. you would send him back, and you know you're going to get those 3 yards.
Mike Bonsu making the tackle for AIC on that last play. 3rd and 2 for Post. Here comes Hardaway. They give it to him on what was the touchdown play, and he gets the first down. Ball's loose. Pile up for it at the 49-yard line.
Well done by AIC. That's stripping the ball. One guy holds him up. The other guy tries to strip it. Heads up play by CW though, Tom. They recover.
Gold and white got their first down for CW Post.
Here it comes. You'll see not quite as timed as well as the first effort. Coming through, not giving up though, finds the hole in the line, takes off, and then you see slapping and grabbing for that football. They're trying to pull it loose.
Well, I mentioned Ian Smart just a little while ago. We haven't seen him back in the lineup since he was injured. I don't see him on the sideline. Here's the handoff for Herring around the right side. There's some room to go, and he gets bumped at the 43-yard line, falls forward to the 41-yard line. That is going to be a 9-yard gain anyway. Close to, but a little short, I believe, of the first down over on the hump. They give him the first down to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10 Post.
You know, they have this little play. Now, needless to say, AIC is starting to figure this one out, and it might be time to come a little counter off that. They're going to start following this motion man like his shadow.
And this is Carneglia, the fullback. Line of scrimmage, and there was nothing there but a wall of black and gold. They had the motion coming from the right to the left, made the fake on that handoff, and gave it instead to Carneglia for no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for CW Post.
You know, there's a lot of effort going on. Big number 62 was 10 yards downfield running his block.
Here we go, defense!
Brian Collins, coach of the CW Post team, has been a part of the program for most of the decade. 5 seasons as an assistant to the now retired Tom Marshall. Rock, with a fake, keeps it himself. Little option action to the 35, 36-yard line, and will gain 5+ yards for himself. Collins, part of a coaching staff that developed a defense ranked in the top 10 in the country in Division II, both in scoring, defense, and yardage back in '97. Bonsu and Allen with the tackle.
Here's some nice blocking up front. Nice misdirection. Probably should have cut that up a little bit earlier. You can't say there's a lack of effort, Tom. These guys are flying.
3rd and 4, and from a CW Post perspective, I mean, you have to be a little optimistic, but they have to feel that if they can score on this drive, that they have a chance to get back into this football game. That's Carneglia again with just straight ahead power, gets to the 30-yard line, and that's a first down.
We'll see the replay on this. We'll see the left side of the line. You know, they're coming, trying to get some of the seniors involved. Big number 62, number 75. These guys are pushing. I tell you, you get a big, fat, sweaty man pushing you, Tom, and it makes for a hard play.
Thompson and McLeod on that tackle for AIC. Kennedy, split left. Hardaway, right. I formation in the backfield. Rock to throw. In trouble and cannot stay on his feet. He's taken down back at the 40-yard line.
Keith Thompson, the 28-year-old Marine. 28 years old, you know, took a little time to figure out what he wanted to do. Was in the Marine Corps, comes back and says, I'm going to get some great education. Comes to AIC, puts on pads.
Thompson shares the first annual Dave Zanin 37 award with Pete DeGridley. Zanin was an AIC linebacker. Had a tragic accident just about a year ago. He's paralyzed, and look at the power as Herring slams down to the 30-yard line. That gets him back to the original line of scrimmage. Zanin paralyzed in a hunting accident. 37 was his number. The award is for the player who best represents inspiration, leadership, and achievement of Dave Zanin.
You know, watch just a sophomore, Steve Volpe, big number 75, 6'3". They're going to run right behind him. He's pulling up the field. Boy, you could run a truck through that.
Allen and Thompson on the tackle. Hardaway wide right for CW Post. 3rd and 10. Rock lays it out there incomplete. It was intended can't see him now. He's laying on the, okay, it's Hardaway. And the other man who was out there for CW Post was Kyle Allen. He was in the end zone, but Rock chose to go short to Hardaway, and it felt incomplete. There is a penalty on the play.
You know, this is a limitation right now on Pat Rock. He's a redshirt sophomore, Tom. You know, he's just learning the game, and he's going to make some mistakes. You got to throw that ball hard when you're down in this position of the field. You can't loft it in the air.
4th and 10, and CW Post with not much of a choice but to go for it, sending Hardaway in motion. Rock, 4th and 10. Rock fires incomplete. It was intended for Hardaway right at the first down marker, but the pass was low and into the ground, and there was very little chance that Hardaway was going to be able to come up with it. So the ball goes over to AIC, and that pretty much will do it. 3-touchdown ball game. DeGrigley was on the coverage. That's not to say the 21 points couldn't be made up in 6 minutes and 52 seconds, because it can, but AIC now can mess with the clock and run down the time. It would take turnover or 2 or 3.
We've seen some crazy things so far this season, Tom, but I'd just like to see Gilliard get the ball as many times as he can.
They give it to Silvestri instead, who finds a little hole coming straight ahead to the 35-yard line. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Rich Ricketts, the tackle for the Pioneers.
You got a guy who's a couple hundred yards away from setting some all-time records. It'd be nice to get him the football.
CW Post led in this game. They scored the first touchdown of the day on their after receiving the opening kickoff, but AIC has come back and leads 41-20. Once again, Silvestri almost pulled away. That last tackler managed to hold onto his ankle long enough that he went down at the 42-yard line, but it's 1st and 10 AIC.
It only can be done one at a time.
You know, you look up and down this AIC depth chart, Tom, there's a lot of youth on this team. They're going to be pretty darn good again.
Except for Hebert and Grant and Galliard, of course.
Yeah, the offensive weapons.
You know, talking with Art Wilkins earlier this week, I asked him, what are you going to do next week? And he said, you know, they are irreplaceable, but at the same time, we will replace them. He said they are irreplaceable, but we will replace them. This is Galliard. Gets away to the 50, away from another tackler, and out of bounds into CW Post territory at the 41-yard line. It looked like he was stopped about 15 yards back down the field, and there he goes again.
Just a pleasure to watch.
Claudio Pesci making the tackle for CW Post. 5 minutes and 39 seconds to play.
You know, you have to believe, you look at this run, there's 1, there's 2, here's 3. You have to believe that you're going to make that play.
Galliard spins. Galliard inside the 35. And that may be the yardage that he needs to pass Barry Sanders. He needed 5, and that looks like it was about 7, maybe 8. Kenny Irby, new NCAA all-division rushing record holder Kevin Galliard, passing Barry Sanders, who played his college football at Oklahoma State. And of course, you've heard the name until recently around the NFL with the Detroit Lions for many, many years. Inside handoff, Mike Bland for a loss of a yard. Clock running at 4:53. Kevin Galliard has just added yet another record. There are 2 pages, a one sheet that was put out by the AIC Sports Information Department of all of the records that Kevin Galliard has set over his career, and he's just added at least 1 more, and this one of the larger of the group.
Tom, we come out for a nice Saturday afternoon and we witness history. In the history of college football, the most yards have been run today
I think someone got confused on the way that play developed, but Galliard still ends up making 3 or 4 yards out of it. Hebert came away with the snap, kind of rolled to his left, and Galliard was way back over here.
You know, it's a comforting feeling, even though when you mess up, you look at Galliard and you say, well, you take it because something good will happen.
Irby and Diaz make the tackle, and Galliard comes off the field, and Mike Novembre goes into that tailback spot. 4 minutes and 7 seconds, 4:06, approaching the 4-minute mark left in the football game, a 41-20 lead for AIC. Bland, the fullback slash tight end, operating this time as a fullback. Bruising runner when he gets the ball, takes it inside the 25-yard line, just across the 25. That'll be a gain of 3, maybe 4. Call it 4, second down 6. Rashawn Farrelly and Marcos Diaz making the tackle for the Pioneers on that play. Bland, boy, he's a big guy at fullback, isn't he? I mean, big from the ground up. He's about 6'3" or 4. And Mike Novembre is the tailback. 3 minutes and 17 seconds left. 2nd and 6. Bland again. All kinds of people jumping on his back, taking him down for no gain on the play. Rich Rennie and big Charlie Cook involved in the stop for post.
You know, earlier, before the game, we had a chance to talk with some of the coaches, and they were talking about what Brian Collins was looking for as he decided to take this job and build his program. And it's funny, he didn't ask the assistant coaches about plays and designs and schemes. He asked where they went to school, about their family, their faith, their friends. And he said, I want good people. We can learn the rest.
2.5 minutes. Hebert, Galliard. Galliard has room to ramble. This could be number 5. A tackler to beat. Galliard is taken out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
We saw Rashawn Dumas from Southern Connecticut score 5 in the opening game of the season, didn't we? Claudio Pesci, 47 with a tackle for CW Post.
You've got some good blocking, number 95. I'm going to get you. No, I'm not going to get you. Off he goes. Never a question in his mind that he's going to get 10, 15 yards. That's a man.
And he will come off the field. Mike Novembre goes into that tailback spot. And Silvestri is the fullback now for AIC. 2 minutes and 23 seconds. And AIC with a chance to put another one up. Silvestri dances left, finds a little slippage in there in the defense. Now gets thrown back to the 5-yard line. He will gain a couple of yards.
You know, you're seeing some of the younger running backs, Tom, and they're all pumped up, they're juiced up, they're in at the end of the season, and they're running straight up and down. It shows you that they don't have a lot of experience because they're going to get their ribs broken. But they're enthusiastic about it.
There's Silvestri coming off, and Novembre goes into that tailback spot. We are getting a quick glimpse into the future of AIC football, at least from the tailback spot. Rick Hebert is still there. So is Dan Grant. But Galliard is off the field for the moment, and Novembre and Silvestri have been sharing that tailback spot. Now 1 minute and 36 seconds. Novembre well hit at the line, bounces off, and goes to the 2 or 3 yard line.
These guys will learn eventually, Tom. You have to run behind your pads.
Oh, Galliard comes back in. We may see that 5th touchdown. With 1 minute 19, clock is running. Last tackle, Rich Rennie.
You know, you see this last play coming out. You know, there's effort here and there's effort in abundance running, but you gotta lower those shoulders. You can't run up with your chest being the first thing that gets hit.
56 seconds. Galliard, the tailback, they're on the 3 yard line. Galliard has already scored 4 times. A chance for 5, not on this play. Rolled down at the 6 yard line by Rich Rennie. Rich has been in a lot of tackles this afternoon for the Pioneers.
You know, you got to get your offensive linemen on speed here. You know they're going to come after number 22. You've got to give him a little extra protection right now. Everybody knows he's going to try to go for 5, help his record. there's going to be 11 white shirts following him around.
Penalty of illegal procedure against AIC as well. And the clock continues to run. This football game may be over. 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7. And the Yellow Jackets are the Eastern Football Conference champions. 3 times in the game, first time the champions.
So those big guys won't be waiting for us now.
And the Nesson jinx is broken.
We can go home, but our car tires will be intact, Tom.
Going to be looking at a lot of seniors getting a piece of the football field for AIC. A little history for the school out there, their first EFC Conference Championship game. And there is Kevin Galliard, who is our choice as the outstanding player of the game. I don't see how there could be anyone else. Oh, maybe because he scored 4 touchdowns and broke a record by Barry Sanders, and he had a pretty good game.
The all-time yardage leader in the history of college football. All right, I'll give it to you.
41-20 is your final, and we'll be back here at John Homer Miller Field in Springfield, Massachusetts, right after this.
All they know is the Hail Mary pass and that I won the Heisman.
I consider myself a line drive hitter. The best give-and-go player that I've ever seen.
72 was pretty special to me.
I was like a different person for like 6 weeks.
The game, the structure as we know it, is going to be changed.
All these little things that go into making a team.
When Bobby put that puck in the net and all of a sudden went flying through the air. And
how do you fight somebody and they land a lucky punch?
We hit balls all over the county.
Come and play at Nesson.com. Sports Circuit at Nesson.com has a whole new look. Now when you log on to see who won the big game, it could be you. Get the latest news and live scores, then come and play. There are always new games and new prizes, like Red Sox and Bruins tickets and road trips, sports memorabilia, and more. Log on for interactive fantasy sports and make your vote count with our circuit poll. Nesson.com, your online ticket to fun and games.
The field as Kevin Galliard talking with our Doug Lokry from the ECAC. There will be a presentation here in a moment. Here's the way the game went. CW Post scored first, took a 7-0 lead, and then touchdowns by Galliard, and Galliard gave AIC the lead. CW Post never led after that, although they stayed in the ball game until the second half. 2 touchdowns for AIC in the third quarter, one by Galliard, and in fact, both of them by Galliard, and AIC wins the Eastern Football Conference Championship. Let's go down on the field.
thank you very much. At this time, we would like to present the most valuable player of this football game, championship football game, the Eastern Football Conference, to Kevin Galliard. Secondly, at this time, Coach Wilkins, AIC football team, the trophy representing the championship of the Eastern Football Conference. Congratulations on a great job.
Well, it's a nice thing to see. The AIC people were kind of laughingly referring to themselves as the Buffalo Bills earlier in the week, because they'd been in the Eastern Football Conference Championship twice before and hadn't won it. And to be here for now the third time and win this one, you can see and could see as they lifted Art Wilkins up on their shoulders how satisfying it is. Kevin Galliard is with us. Kevin, another outstanding ball game. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Kevin, you've just set some records in the history of college football. And from everything that we've witnessed and watched you, you've done it with class. How does it feel right now to be in this spot? Did you think you were going to be here as a freshman?
No, not as a freshman, but at the beginning of the year, I knew we had a great team. We've been there twice before this, and I kind of knew we was going to play hard this day. Just a great moment right now.
Kevin, did you know that you broke an all-time collegiate rushing record today that was held by a guy named Barry Sanders?
These records mean nothing to me. I'll tell you, we got this trophy, and that's what it's all about. When you come to college, everybody wants to win a championship, and we did it.
You expect to play any more football, Kevin?
I'm going to just soak this one in.
Kevin, last question I have for you. What has Coach meant to you? What has he brought to this program?
He meant everything. He just kept us in it when we was down and when things wasn't going our way. Coach stuck with us, and he made the right moves, and it paid off in the end.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate your time. Nice ball game, sir.
Thank you. Kevin, fantastic job.
Thank you.
Kevin Galliard, 4 touchdowns this afternoon, and breaking a record that was held by Barry Sanders, an all-time collegiate rushing record for all divisions in college football.
We do it!
Yeah, clearly a very emotional thing. That's continues to be Kevin Galliard, and we're going to talk with Art Wilkins, who is the head coach. Hi, Art. Congratulations. 3 times here. Got the trophy with you this time.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's starting to feel like the Denver Broncos been there twice, and we won it the 3rd time around.
Hey, how does it feel to come out here with such a special guy? You know, running back sets the all-time rushing record in college football. What is that like to be a coach with that type of talent on your team?
It's a privilege. I feel privileged that I've had an opportunity to deal with this football team, and it brings out the best in human beings, and it's the best offensive football team I've ever seen. 1AA, 1A, Division II, Division III, and it humbles me.
Dan Grant, Rick Hebert, Kevin Galliard, all seniors. I asked you earlier this week, how do you replace these guys? And remember what you said?
I do remember what I said. I said they're irreplaceable, but all of us can be replaced. I said that if I had a heart attack tomorrow, Ricky, Kevin, and Danny would do fine without me here, and I believe they did.
Well, Coach, last question. Your assistant said that if you won this game, you were promising to send them on a paid vacation to any destination of their choice for 2 weeks.
I hope that's true.
Thank you, Coach Wilkins.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations again. Art Wilkins, the head football coach at AIC. Final score 41-20 for the Eastern Football Conference Championship. And we'll be back on your New England Sports Network right after this.
For some time now, our goal of the Great Society has been within reach. But alas, there is a threat in our midst. These shoes are corrupting our society. The DMX moving air system reacts to the wearer's stride, encouraging individuality. Stores all over the country are actually selling the DMX shoes as I speak. Reebok represents a threat to our glorious conformity. They must be stopped.
You're a business traveler. You're on the, that's for later. You're on the road a lot. Your needs are relatively simple. Even I'd use that. You'd like a warm, comfortable bed, a separate office area with a desk, 2 phone lines. I'd like a phone there. A mini kitchen with wet bar, refrigerator, and coffee maker. You're getting the picture. And you'd like a free, bountiful breakfast buffet to keep you going all day. You don't expect much. You just expect AmeriSuites hotels. They take care of you, so you can take care of business.
So our Ranger has a 4-door extended cab and a huge trunk with a locking top.
It's a great pickup.
We need a great promotion. What about rent a Ranger for the day, be a Ranger for the day?
Oh, hello, little fella. Yeah.
I don't want to be a Ranger.
Let's just rent the Ranger for the price of our economy car.
I like that.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
Let's do that.
Well, the celebration has thinned out a little bit. We're at John Homer Miller Field, Springfield, Massachusetts, Eastern Football Conference Championship. Kevin Galliard still there accepting congratulations on the sideline, by the way, for his 4-touchdown effort and breaking the all-time collegiate rushing record that was held by Barry Sanders. Mike Ruth, I would say at this point, a year in advance, it would be a major upset, well, an upset, if C.W. Post wasn't back in this championship game again next year. Coming into this game, of the top 25 tacklers in their defensive stats, 18 were freshmen and sophomores. They'll be back. Now, these are names that were prominent throughout the afternoon. Pat Rock, the quarterback. Ian Smart, running back. Rick Herring, a junior. John Corneglia, running back, a junior. Matt Galasso, tight end, a sophomore. All those players offensively are back next year. This is basically a team that will be back intact. They will lose a couple of people that are important, Eddie Hardaway and Jim Kennedy, but the overwhelming majority of this ball club for C.W. Post is going to be back, and they had a great year. They finished the season at 9-2.
You know, Tom, they learned how to play football, and they learned how to play together, and the defense learned how to gel. And I think if you go away as C.W. Post, the thing that you know is defense can win championships, get you in championships, and I think it's going to get them back here next year.
The Galliard family you saw there, and there is Kevin, and our thanks to the ECAC, to the people back at Nesson, and of course to the officials of both of the schools, AIC and C.W. Post, for their help and cooperation in the preparation for this football game. The Eastern Football Conference Championship won by the AIC Yellow Jackets. The final score is still on the board, AIC 41 and C.W. Post 20. And Mike Ruth, thank you. Been a pleasure working with you all year long, sir.
It's been awesome, Tom. It's been the best experience I've had in football in a long time.
Hopefully we'll be back again next year. You never know. That's the way things are. But Tom Larson for Mike Ruth and the rest of our ECAC College Football Game of the Week telecasting crew. From Springfield, our final, one last time, AIC 41 and C.W. Post 20.